You know, I made that video and it goes down to 0. And it's at 0 for a little while. Doesn't even make sense.
It's like the goal.
It's like I was late and then I got late again. Yeah, you're right. I was like, we need more time. Even though the countdown is over, we still need more time to go. What's up, Adam? I see you're embracing your new nickname.
Yeah, I feel good about it. It's an honor.
Now, I do something that's really dumb. I use my band's music to do the countdown stuff for when we go live on YouTube. Usually it's the Isotopes. Today I put on some Buzz Miners for us.
That's stupid.
Well, this is why it's stupid. We have our shit set up so that if someone streams our music, we get monetized for that, you know? So whenever I put the Isotopes on, if it's a video that I'm monetizing, I have to split my money with the Isotopes. I own my YouTube channel. No one else. Just me. The Isotopes is me and like a bunch of other jerks. So
Are you asking me for money?
So I take half of the money that I would have made all for myself and I give it to a bunch of jerks who are not even grateful.
Well, you don't know that.
They're already complaining about it over here.
Well, maybe if it was more money.
Yeah, that's true. It's not a lot of money. I guess what it comes down to is it really no one noticed or notices. It doesn't really matter at all. Adam, how you been this lovely day? I know it's early for you out in L.A.
I'm doing better and better.
Yeah?
I'm just shocked at how this Dabbleverse won't die. No matter how hard I try to strangle it, it just keeps on living.
It's expanding.
Mm-hmm.
It is expanding. I'll tell you a quick anecdote. Speaking of my YouTube channel, it's never been bigger. Stuttering John goes away and is like, well, let's see what they do with the scraps after I'm gone.
That's the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
And it was the end of that
Oh,
chapter.
it actually worked out very well for us. I want to think that there was a little Stuttering John fatigue that was starting to set in, especially during that December marathon session he was on, which we still haven't finished up his final show, December 31st.
It feels like the same thing and the same relationship we're having with John. It's just turned into like more interactive, or it's turned into 3D, or like an actual escape room where you get to hang with him and you can't figure out how to leave.
Oh, you're right.
That's nightmarish.
It's what happened to me when I was watching the show for so long. I realized I had a connection. I could probably reach out to John. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, watching this is great. Wouldn't
What
that
could go wrong?
What could
That's
possibly happen?
serious mental illness.
But people get to do it now, and I highly recommend it. It is kind of worth it. Because you just can't believe how much he is exactly like what you expect. It's very satisfying.
Well, what is satisfying about him doing comedy shows, and he just booked another show May 2nd. It's at the Stress Factory, I believe.
Yes.
So he's still doing his comedy thing, which is great. I love hearing the conversations he has with people when he doesn't know he's being recorded, because he's the same guy. He's still complaining about me, or just, bitching about the Dabbleverse.
Yeah, he has little pockets where he's almost likable.
Yep.
He's like this aging, he's a buffoon, but you don't know how riled up he can get. And
Right.
It's like that.
But his show isn't a show.
No,
It's
not.
This is what John does all day, vents about all the people he doesn't like.
It is like some kind of weird performance piece or something, because it has the trappings of like an old style, like Henny Youngman kind of classic hacky comedy bit, but you're actively watching a man dying in front of you. So you get that duality of like,
Yeah, that's a good
comedy,
point.
tragedy. That
Yeah.
is kind of a one-man show.
Yeah,
He can't book it that way, though. It just doesn't sell tickets.
The actively dying tour.
There was this thing where the
I'd
woman
go
who
to
won
that.
the woman who
I
won
know, I
Best
would too.
Actress, everyone thought she was Asian, but she's just like a Long Island Jew. And they had this like press junket where they're like, "You don't talk. Let's let everyone think you're Asian. That'll be better." John could, if he was smart or if he had an agent, get them to convince people that this was this Andy Kaufman, what was the Bob Zamuda guy with Andy Kaufman, right? One of those kind of weird characters you're seeing, and he's a genius. You'll never believe it. It's like an anti-Henny Youngman thing, but he's, it's like a Beckett play where he's just going to be dead by the end of it. Or like a snuff film, but with stand-up.
See, I thought you were going to say he could fake his own death, but before he fakes his own death, he creates a new character,
And someone else can play it.
and then someone else can play that
can
character.
live on.
Or is it someone else? Or
Right,
is it
yeah.
John all along? It'd be this mysterious thing where they're like, my grandchildren are talking about how, no, Stuttering John's still alive.
Mm-hmm. Cardiff takes off the mask and it's John
John was Cardiff.
and OJ.
See, that's a good ending. That's
So
a
he
twist.
was made of potatoes the whole time.
Annie, who is our review girl, says she's a member for 4 months. Thank you, Annie. So if you haven't gotten a ticket to Hackamania, you're lame. And I don't even want to see you in Vegas anyway. John was right about you. Some tough love in order to promote this show. Promo code WATP, Annie.
Yeah,
I don't know if OJ's
that's a
going to be
typo.
there.
Really?
Yeah. It's not looking good from what I've seen.
He's a little sensitive.
Here's a super tip that came in. Supertip.gg/WATP. This one came in a couple days ago.
I've come up with the perfect name for my coffee mug sweatshop. Art studio. It's called the Smug Shop. It's perfect. It combines my two biggest personality traits, smugness and grifting.
I don't mind it. I don't hate it.
That's pretty good.
Daddy Poopy. Now that's a supporter of the show right there.
I was normal until I heard that intro song. God damn! Now I'm retarded. Thanks, Carl. Put on a hat.
Thank you, Daddy. Do I need a hat on today? I feel like Aaron Imholt, all self-conscious looking at myself. Huh? What's going on? Oh, KJ. Love KJ supporting the show. $20. Thank you, KJ. Says, every group needs a professor to give it legitimacy. Adam is our professor.
Absolutely.
Wait, we weren't legit until Adam started doing the show?
Nope.
God damn. No one ever tells me anything. Here, I thought I was doing a legit show for years.
It was. It just needed to be like kind of ground to a halt every once in a while. So
I see.
that's all
Yes. That's right. We did have Dr. Steve on for a while who'd do that.
There you
And E-Rock would do that.
The actual fact checkers.
Yes.
They
Will you
were the
see,
pioneers. People were like, there's no way anyone could ever want to spend time in the Dabbleverse if they weren't trying to grift everyone. What's the angle? It has to be about money. You can't actually enjoy this. No, it turns out you can.
You can. We're going to find out Donkeylips is enjoying his time with the Dabbleverse.
I've never had a relationship where I like love him so much, but I actively want to hate him, and I know I'll get there. Maybe we can together.
You want to hate him.
It's just funny. If I was completely intolerant of this person and didn't relate to him in any way, I like it. And he's so the opposite of John. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that. I got to say, I'm trying to think if there's people I hate that we talk about on this show. Opie's hateable, but I don't hate him. You know?
I kind of do.
You're a lot of things. You're not a hating guy.
But there's definitely people who've rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, Chad is hateable. Chad's pretty hateable, I guess.
Yeah, but you don't hate him.
No, I don't spend any time thinking about him, so it works out well.
I'm sure if you had to spend some time with him.
Works out well for everyone, actually.
No, my relationship to Opie is unhealthy because it's all the money and the opportunity that's just sitting right there that he's wasting every day. And the fact that he's in such a prison, I guess it's not hate, but it's just like when you know there's nothing you can do and you just have to watch this happen. It's wild. He's not having any fun.
He's not. I
He
played
hates
the
doing
clips.
this.
I don't have him today because I played him yesterday on Drew Lane's show. But it's so funny how dumb he is because he's talking on and on about how I couldn't take $150,000 to do a radio gig. I would need more than twice that. So he's throwing out there, it's got to be over $300,000. And he even said, this was so crazy. He said he can still do what he's doing for another 5 years. He's got enough money that he doesn't have to get a job for 5 years, and then he's got to figure it out. And then at that point, he's going to need a job that pays him over $300,000. So someone in the chat pointed out, if you got a job for $150,000 now, that 5 years would last longer. And he could not calculate that. He's like, no, I don't need it now. I don't need it until 5 years from now. It's like, right, but the point, how do you not understand this?
I know he acts stupid. Is he really that low IQ? He doesn't get that.
I don't know.
It's not.
He's
I don't know
never
if
been
it's-
good at math.
He's not good at math, and I think he's just still trapped in. He hasn't left Opie and Anthony. He still thinks it's all.
I'm worth
he
$2
hasn't
million
broken up.
a year.
They're still fighting. It's just a fight. They hate each other. They love each other.
Yeah.
He actually thinks someone is going to come to him and give him close to $500,000 radio deal. He thinks that's in the next 5 years. That's going to happen. They're not going to look to TikTok or anyone just a little younger. They're going to go right to him. And not because of Anthony's current success, because of what he's been doing from his home with
Still
the duct tape.
auditioning. Yep.
Yep.
He's still auditioning for that. Amanda Wynn Nappy coming in, supertip.gg/WATP. We appreciate the support on this program.
Ambush may be the funniest thing I ever came up with. But the joke is on the Dabbleverse. I came up with it on accident. I was drunk and couldn't say Adam.
I believe that. He was trying to say Adam Busch and went ambush.
That sounds right.
I like it.
Sometimes when I hear the isotopes, I touch myself with one hand and play with my clay in the other.
Oh, boy. I wouldn't want to get that mug.
It's almost incomprehensible.
Dial Mug says, when do we discuss ancient megalithic structures?
No, don't get him started.
I'm in.
Damn it.
It's lasers.
Brother Ted $5 says, if Adam's the professor, Chris is the skipper. As for Carl, hey, Gilligan. Oh, is that why I need a hat?
And the rest.
All right. Enough fun. Wait, no, not enough fun yet. Hold on. I'm with Stupid. It's been here for 8 months. Says, just wanted to say thank you for all the laughs. I won't be around much longer, so wanted to say this before then. Peace be all. I'm with Stupid. Hope you're not planning a trip to Greenland, my friend. We love you. Please hang with us. We're going to have a fun show today. At least for today.
Stick around for that at least.
Yeah. And then we could talk after that.
We'll negotiate.
All right. Let's get this show started.
You would make it interesting because you're very interesting.
Thanks, but I don't want to because it's like too much work.
Episode
609.
Are you a boner guy?
Oh, I was a boner guy.
You know what? I miss penis.
What are you talking about?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Is it going to be absolutely riveting? Is it going to change your life by any stretch? Probably not, but it's going to be at least entertaining, okay?
By the way, for those people that are in the back, remember to shut the fuck up.
Cuz-a-roo. Slap-a-rooney.
It's showtime.
WAATP.
WATP.
Hello, Rubber Dicks and Cuzzaroos. Welcome to another episode of Who Are These Podcasts, the only show that's got more to say than Cory Booker. I'm your host, Carl. With me today, a successful child actor who's barely even fucked up from it. It's Adam Busch.
That is mostly true. Thank you, Carl. So happy to be here.
Also with us is producer Chris.
Hello.
Go to whoarethese.com. That's where you get our email address, the voicemail number, the link to our subreddit, the link to our Discord server, the link to our merchandise, the link to this YouTube channel, and the link to Patreon and Supercast featuring 2 exclusive bonus episodes. Every single month, I have an exciting announcement for a bonus show we're going to be doing relatively soon. So I'm excited about that. But when you support us on the Patreon, you also get all of the live shows that we do, all of the back catalog of all the bonus shows we've ever done. It'll show up right on your podcast player, get your own personalized RSS feed. So if you're a person who still likes to listen to audio, it's all on there. If you want to watch the video, that's all on there as well. You can watch the shows live when they happen and the bonus shows as well. I keep saying well. It's too much well. I'm off script. All right. Dabble.
This is going great.
Dabble House Live is coming up April 11th through 12th. You want to go to dabblecon.live. We're doing a live WTP, live Uncle Rico show, a viewer film festival contest. Create your own Dabbleverse video and send that to dabblefilmfest@gmail.com. You could win $500 if you have the funniest video. Keep it under 4 minutes. If you could, we're actually adding additional shows now. We had a meeting today with the whole crew, and we're going to be doing on Friday a special point Dabble Point before WATP. And then there's a game show that they're doing. Uncle Rico is doing after the Uncle Rico show. It's this Kate Meany game show where you got to, it sounds crazy to me. Shuli was pitching this and everyone was on board. Basically, she says something. You got to figure out how he's going to respond, but you have to say how many words out of his mouth do you need to hear to know what he's going to say.
Oh, so it's like Name That Tune.
It's like Name That Tune, but with Stuttering John-isms.
Oh, that's great.
I can name that phrase in 2 wheezes.
Right, yeah, so you got to figure that out. If I hear a grunt, I know where he's going with this. So that's something else that we're going to be doing, dabblecon.live, to watch all the shows and the Kate Meany tapes, season 2. I'm so excited for it. There's so much to get to. We have so much to talk about. It's going to be a blast. Also, we talked about we can do things behind the paywall we can't do on YouTube. So John was on an episode of Wings.
Yeah.
And we can't watch it on YouTube. It gets taken down immediately, but we'll be able to watch it at Dabble House.
Yeah.
So we'll be checking
It's
that
a
out.
doozy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. Of course, we are going to Vegas May 9th through 11th. Hackamania.com. WATP is the promo code for 10% off your tickets there. Live, Who Are These Podcasts? The Creep Off, This Little Piggy, Biggest Problem in the Universe, Nobody Likes Onions, Weird Medicine, Tukey Soup with Cardiff. Adam Busch might be there too. I don't want to speak out of school.
Man, I would love to.
All right. Well, we'll find out about that. Also, we encourage our listeners, give us 5 stars wherever you review podcasts, and then shit all over us in the comments section. It does help the algorithm, and our review girl Annie will be by later. Maybe with some new reviews, maybe just playing games, maybe just listening to voicemails. We got a lot of things to get to today. We appreciate your support. Supertip.gg/WATP. Thank you for helping us produce this when you do that, and also adds to the show as well. Today, we'll be showing you Steel Toe this morning with the most embarrassing stunt for money yet. I'm on that thread with the other guys from This Little Piggy, and everyone was like, holy shit, are you watching this right now? No, I'm not. I got to get on that. So I'll be showing you that. Hey Bauer, Donkeylips, is hitting goals and watching Chad Zumock videos now. He's not just dipping a toe into the Dabbleverse. He wants in. Opie actually talks about a moment with his family. That was weird. Wasn't ready for that. Stuttering John had another TV appearance in Ohio. The cow photographer is blessing us with a new cow bikini girl.
Oh, wow.
To celebrate episode 609. If you take out the 0. Chris gets it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. But first, 2 social media influencers are dating and host a podcast called Emergency Intercom. This was a suggestion from Koof in our Discord. And he said, this is a Zoomer podcast my 18-year-old sister listens to / watches. And a lot of people, we have a review suggestions channel in the Discord. And a lot of people were checking out and saying, yeah, we do definitely have to review this and give it a watch. So Adam and I have both checked this out separately. We've not discussed it with each other beforehand. We're going to get into it. The show hosted by Enya and Drew. And they're both former Vine stars who moved to LA and were united by Press Play, which is a company that facilitates tours for social media creators to host meet and greets. So it's very similar to the Dick and Maddox origin story, where they were both authors and the company like, hey, you guys are similar. You guys should get together. These two were both Vine stars who then went to LA to be rich and famous. It worked. And now they're dating or they're together. They live together, it seems. I don't know. Adam, did you pick up on that part of it?
I think they're very close. I'm pretty sure he's gay, and I'm pretty sure she likes to ride that line in terms of. I don't think you can be voted the top 5 podcast by Grindr without having inclusive hosts, and I believe that's him, or maybe it's a gray area. I don't know.
It does seem to be a gray area because they do have a subreddit. I was checking it out, and people were asking if he's gay or not, and there seems to be a lot of confusion around that. So you could be right. I will tell you this. This podcast has 489,000 subscribers on YouTube. They have 343,000 subscribers on Instagram. And Enya herself has 1.3 million followers on Instagram. So very popular with the Zoomers. And I want to start with a clip that I think sums up the show for me. You can't hear a more Zoomer sentence than what Enya says here.
Couple accounts have turned into. It's just the average American has now been taught, because of how much media we watch, to low-key be into voyeurism, ? It's been trained onto us, because one thing the US will do is it will employ the most mid-average looking, usually white couple you've ever seen, because Americans eat it up. And it's all that shit where it's I smacked my girlfriend's ass to see how she would act, or it's I bent over in front of my boyfriend while he was playing games.
What are we
following
talking about?
this?
Nope. No idea.
You
What
low-key following this one? Question mark?
It's mid, but I don't know what it is. And
Okay.
Is she like a little orphan girl? What's happening there?
Yeah, it's very confusing. This is a shoot the shit type of show. I'm reading the fans. It started in 2021, and the fans seem to be divided on the direction of the show. They don't really talk about anything real. It's a lot of just kind of nonsense. They give you little tidbits into their personal lives, but they don't really get into it. They don't really want to talk about it. And when they're questioned, I have examples where he's just like, do I want to talk about it? Actually, here's a good example of that, where their producer is Kai, and he's back behind the camera, and he drops his phone or something like that.
Should I tell them the one detail out front of the gym or no?
If it's not the bottle, it's the phone.
If it's not the bottle, it's the phone. There's one moment that I'm like debating telling, because this happened before a break, actually. Whatever. We're cutting all of that.
Yeah, and then it never gets brought up again. Should I tell this story? Should I tell the story or not? Like, don't say that if you're not going to. It just pisses people off. It's just annoying.
There are thousands of comments from their fans saying, are we getting in the way of your conversation? Should we just leave you guys alone? Because you seem very annoyed that we're here. And every time you're obligated to like address us, it's like, don't do it. Let's just go back to our conversation. These are not podcasters. These are Vine stars who were like, I mean, he was like 10 or 8 or something when he started. And he's been like this little Michael Jackson his whole life, talking to the camera, getting whatever he wants. And now he's just doing this, and people aren't expecting anything than just to feel close to him and hear his voice and waste some time.
I see. Okay. That makes a lot more sense, because I'm like, what is this show? Why are people interested in it? Well, they took a month off. They said it was because they were moving or something like that. So they come back after a month off, and boy, did they step in it. This is a very controversial episode, and I'll show you why.
But you know who else fell the fuck off? You know who else fell off? Greta Thunberg. That bitch is in the gutters, bitch. Like, sorry, bitch. Like, literally.
Kind of fucked up. Like,
off.
why didn't Loewe use her? Like, what?
Also,
like,
Loewe.
Like, what?
Okay. So then they move on and start talking about something else, and they go to commercial break, and then they come back, and Drew just has to get back to Greta Thunberg.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, Greta Thunberg fell off. Bitches in the gutter. Her legacy being lesbian, and I shouldn't be up here.
The thing is,
so perfectly what's wrong with everything in this world, because like she literally was that girl. She was like fighting for climate change.
Her saying she shouldn't be up there, like, you're right. You should be in school, and your parents kind of suck for not letting you just go to school and be fucking normal. Like, go to school, be normal, and then you can like. But poor girl, she was fighting for a cause that she felt so strong for.
I think she's
like,
still fighting for it, but in like 20 years she'll probably
fighting
be
where? Because
president.
I don't see her.
All right, I have one more clip, and then we can discuss why this is so controversial. Because, they're talking about how, obviously, the famous speech, I shouldn't be here, I should be in school right now. She was like 16 years old. She was talking in front of Congress. And Kai comes up with an idea about why she did this.
She just didn't want to go to school. That's why she did that.
She was skipping class. Josiah said she didn't want to be in school. She did all that, like me faking sick to get out of class, me faking to be a climate change activist to skip class. Wait, that's low-key a method.
Claiming to be a martyr for a cause after finding out about what's her name.
So, Adam, do you know why this is so controversial, what they're saying right now?
Tell me, please.
Why it's going to piss off their audience?
Well, I'm guessing because they're being, they just sound real elitist, and it kind of transcends how you feel about Greta Thunberg, the kind of let them eat cake attitude they're having while he is admittedly drunk. She's stoned off her ass and on a ton of pills, as they said, ignoring their audience, having a conversation that you would regret having alone in a room with your friend. Be like, what the fuck was I talking about? You said, fuck Greta Thunberg. Why would I do that? I don't know. I was drunk. That's it. But they're having it here in public, and people are like, you sound like you don't know what you're talking about. And maybe you shouldn't step into topics when you don't know anything about them. Is that it? Something like that?
It's very close, but it's worse because you know how Ethan Klein is having issues with the internet right now?
I do.
You know why he's having issues with the internet right now. it's really difficult to get yourself involved in the debate over Israel versus Palestine if you're not pro-Palestine. Oh, there's a lot of people in this generation who get very angry at that. Apparently, Greta Thunberg hasn't gone away. She's now speaking up on behalf of Palestine, and that's her cause now is the genocide.
So I don't have to worry about anything.
If you look, oh shit, I went to the wrong place. God damn it, I lost my place. If you look at the comments,
so I don't have to worry
underneath this video,
They're so good.
oh my gosh. The way y'all remove the Palestine fundraiser from your bio and then you talk about activists falling off, money hungry and uneducated as fuck. I'm not even being funny. Y'all need to cut that 14-hour screen time and sit on some community college classes with how tone deaf that was. Greta isn't in the gutter. Ew, she's fighting for Palestine and the media are silencing her. There's so much of this silence is complicity. You cannot be neutral on genocide. Greta Thunberg. It just goes on and on. I looked at the latest Instagram post that this woman put up. Enya. And you can't get away from this shit. Like even on her Instagram post, the first comment under here, very much did not appreciate the way y'all spoke on Greta, who actively has spoken out for the rights of others and our environment, felt very out of touch and privileged, felt very hateful as well. Can't in good conscience support that. Like all of these comments are pissed off because they were so dismissive of Greta and how she's fallen off. It was something that I think, you would edit out of the show.
Oh yeah, and it's a very edited show.
It is a very edited show.
What did they choose to remove when they left that?
Yeah, I'll just show you real quick one more thing. This is on their subreddit, and I know how subreddits can be sometimes. So someone made a video. Oh, they're cooked, and this is like they splice in Greta fighting for Palestine with them talking about how dismissive they are about it.
Have they apologized? Have they said anything?
They'll be on all apologies.
Some people have their side. Like, so someone wrote on here, this was bad and they need to be held accountable. And he wrote, no, it is a gay fart podcast. You are overreacting. So that's kind of fun.
And accurate.
Well, I feel like if the political activists covered gay farts, they would cover that.
I love this headline right here. This really tells you all you need to know about the people watching the show and why you need to be careful with this audience. Reminder, you don't get to forgive racism if you're white. So keep that in mind, Adam Busch. These people have really stepped in it. They're having some issues right now. So fun time to join up on Emergency Intercom. What did you pick up on from this show, Adam?
I mean, that they feel obligated to be there. That they have a love-hate relationship. I think they're very spoiled and isolated. And I think they need to stop doing the podcast part of their brand. I think they're probably entertaining in many other different ways, but she comes off as very, very she's like, I can tell somebody's a certain way just by looking at them. It's like, oh, can you? Go back to explaining how we're all racist. It's interesting. You can't just dive into topics like this and expect people to follow you. Stick to your own relationships, whatever they're normally talking about. I don't know.
She's best known for makeup tutorials.
There you go.
And now she has this platform where she's like talking about geopolitical issues. Like, I don't know if that's really your lane on this one. But let me play some of these clips that you grabbed for us, Adam. Where do you want to begin?
Oh, go right at the top where 117, where she talks about just how happy she is, and I believe her. I know what happiness looks like.
Kind of right when we moved in because we just needed the time, and boy, did I have a time. I genuinely am like, I am so happy. I love my life. I'm so happy. 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 I'm so happy.
We're so happy. We're so happy. We're so happy. We're so happy. We're so happy. We're so happy. I'm so happy.
I actually am in I'm in a better mental state right now than I was.
You are.
Yeah, I am so much better.
And I can't tell if it's your Lexapro.
Prozac.
I can't tell if it's your Prozac or that you're smoking weed all day, every day.
Well,
It's a good combination.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a fun day.
It'll keep you going, for sure. You don't think that's real happiness there, Adam?
No, it seemed like she was having to convince herself and him. And again, it felt like we shouldn't be watching this. Like, this isn't for us. This is for you two. And I feel like in the way. It's uncomfortable, you know?
Right. So they are off for a month. They come back and they want to get us all updated on what's been going on.
But damn, a lot has fucking happened since we've gone. Like a lot.
I think a lot specifically in your life has
Yeah.
changed and like happened.
And like
A lot has happened.
I'm not gonna talk about any of it. I'm sure y'all can guess, but
I don't think anyone can guess because it's the last thing anyone would have ever guessed.
I know it's something that I famously am like, no, never, never.
I can't see myself doing
Vagina.
that.
But something has shifted. Something has shifted, and it's probably Venus and Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, you're
but
right.
like
He is gay.
I
He just talked about Mercury and retrograde. That should have been the clue right there. So obvious. It's right in front of me the whole time. So they come on. The name of this episode is like a lot has changed. There's a lot of changes. And they come out like, oh my gosh, a lot of changes. We're not going to talk about any of them.
This is not the place or the time.
Right. Yeah, this is not where we're going to talk about that. Instead, he tells us this anecdote about running into some guys having gay sex in a stall at the airport in Dallas-Fort Worth. And this tells me everything I need to know about Drew here.
Wait, you pulled this clip and this didn't tip you off at all? You were still on the fence about it?
Okay, fair enough. But there's a certain thing that Drew says that annoys the fuck out of me. And I know it does producer Chris too. So
then I'm like chilling in there, hanging out, doing my thing on my iPhone, playing my videos loud as fuck because I literally don't care. Not shitting. I don't give a fuck. I don't shit
I'll
in
play
public.
my videos out loud and I'll shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
people who play their videos in public out loud on their phones. I know that we don't have camps in the United States
yet.
But, you know, if they were to develop them and we started thinking about like, who should we get out of society?
Who should we start with?
Right. Yeah. That might be a good place to start.
How else are you supposed to know what they're watching? I don't understand.
I know. That's the worst part, too, to be like a guy by himself. And you're like, just put in some fucking earbuds, man.
Yeah.
This could be solved so
That's
easily.
a good point. It's never compelling shit when
That's
you're
true, yeah.
listening. It's always dipshit material.
Yep. Or FaceTime. That's a classic right there. Everyone's got to know your conversation. So I mentioned this gay sexcapade happened in Dallas-Fort Worth. And, okay, you could say Enya is just a makeup tutorial girl. But no, she's got some pretty funny one-liners, too.
But yeah, I caught a guy cruising in DFW. And I'm not going to lie. I
DFW stands for Don't Fuck Women, apparently.
Not going to lie. That was a very exciting moment in my life.
Yeah,
at
I
a
don't
very
think
mundane
anything
time.
that exciting happened to me.
Did you see her when she was thinking about the joke? She's like, there's got to be something. Then she celebrated herself for a while after
Like
that.
a Muppet, she was like.
I always say, when you get a good line out there, act like you've been there before. There was something when Brother Weeze, we used to listen to that show. He'd get so excited if someone had a good line. He'd point it out like, that's a funny line. That was a pretty funny line. Did you hear what he said just now? It's like, yeah. He said it into a microphone during your show. Act like that happens often.
Right.
So that we think you're hosting a comedy show.
She practically put her hand up. Like,
Yeah. Okay, I got one for this. I got one. Okay, so this is them bringing up their personal lives, but then refusing to talk about their personal lives.
Yeah,
At
I
a
don't
very
think anything
mundane
that
time.
exciting happened to me while I was gone. Like,
Well, a lot of shit has happened.
a lot of things. Well, someone hit my car today. That's something that fucking happened, actually.
Someone hit Enya's fucking car.
This is the second time my old car never got hit. I finally got to a place where I was like, you know what? I can have like a nice car that would impress my parents and all my friends and also has the best sound system ever. Within a month of having that car, somebody hit the side of it and now someone just hit it again.
So you saw what happened there. She goes, nothing exciting's happened to me. He's like, come on. Obviously exciting shit's been happening. And then she goes, my car got hit. Like a deflection, like the most boring anecdote she could think of. Like, I got a fender bender. Cool. Let's talk about that for a while.
What is it they're trying to protect that they don't want their hardcore audience and fans to know?
There's no way to know. And thankfully for me, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what they're hiding. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but are they trying to drum up interest by
it's just annoying
keeping
people?
it cryptic?
I don't know. I'm reading through the comments and the Reddit and everything. Yeah. It just seems like people are just annoyed by it.
All right. So there's no payoff and
there's
they
no
suck.
Well, when they do tell anecdotes, it doesn't get any better. The car damage thing, don't worry, there's an exciting video to go along with that.
Ooh.
I was not prepared to be on film. Like, I was literally not prepared.
Lights, camera,
You're still
action. Bro,
Yeah.
Yeah, you play, you pay, right? Exactly. Okay, so a little car that I accidentally hit.
It's me saying exactly.
Almost no damage at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Very exciting.
Left front damage.
He loves watching himself. Look at that.
To this gentleman, what's your name?
I wish my car looked like
Drew
that.
Phillips.
I know. It's
Drew Phillips. Yeah, I showed him.
Good stuff. I'm glad you guys showed that video.
Go back to talking politics.
Yes.
So how do you two know the groom or the bride? Or
Right. Yeah, that's the kind of conversation we're in right now. But apparently, Enya went to Italy with her friend Rain. So she's got some stories about that. And I don't even understand what's going on here.
Well, I was lucky enough to go to Italy with my friend Rain. And it was so fun. But one of my, actually the day
Italy, more like Little-y. More like Little.
Wait, why am I literally in Italy right now?
Little-y.
Why am I literally in Italy?
Little-y.
Was that little comic relief? What was going on right there?
she's stoned. She's super stoned.
Okay, yeah, wow.
I mean, and it's the edibles are kicking in and hitting the Prozac, and it's creating this little marionette we see in front of us.
I thought for sure there was a reason why he was calling it Little-y, and then they never go back to that. So like that was the end of it. Like, oh,
yeah, because it sounded fun to say.
I think that's what it was. Italy, if you put an L before it, changes it.
To him, and that's why everyone watching this is like, are we getting in your way? Are we disturbing you two? Because this is like that famous, poster of people eating and talking together, and you put yourself next to the billboard, and you're like, this is my podcast.
Friends. Yeah.
Except they're all ignoring us. And they keep giving us like dirty looks like, can you move away? We reserved this
What are you
area.
doing here?
Yeah. And just in case you think you're welcome, we're going to shit on everyone and everything. And the idea of like just caring about something as being such a sign of weakness.
Oh, actually, do you want to play your clip about her being so disaffected by everything?
But except the one thing she does care about.
Yep.
I don't feel this way about yours, but you know those wine bottles with the ones you have in your room with that flip cap? Those at a restaurant make me feel so fucking nasty for some reason. Like, I just feel like a bottle shaped like that does not get cleaned the amount it should be cleaned.
Yeah.
And to the extent it should be cleaned for everyone's nasty hands going in there. And I just think about like when someone has their earrings in for too long and it cakes up and gets fucking disgusting, which is the nastiest guy trait ever. And I'm so fucking tired of men taking like effeminate traits and doing it, and you're doing it fucking nasty. You're getting a manicure of a color too dark, but you can't see that there's dirt under your fucking nails because you're a fucking animal and you're not somebody who's scrubbing your fucking nails before you touch people. Nasty fucking monster. And that's why I feel about men with earrings, because they always get their ears pierced and they never take it out. And it smells like fucking ass crack of Notre Dame. It's so fucking nasty. But that is what I imagine for the wine bottle like things at restaurants. It's like it was just all that fucking gunk from nasty motherfuckers who go to restaurants and they don't wash their hands and they touch everything and everything is fucking nasty. And I hate those. And I know sustainability. It is the ugliest fucking thing ever. Stop cutting glass bottles in half and making them cups, because it's not a fucking cup. It is a bottle cut in half, and I hate those cups. And like the bottom of wine glasses is so ugly. The nipple, like if I wanted to suck on a nipple, I'd get on my fucking iPhone and make it happen.
She'd come to me.
She seems nice.
Oh, you're so interesting. Tell me about other things you dislike. Wow. She's not pretty enough to pull off this personality. Am I wrong about that?
She has
You got to be
the
a
attitude.
smoke show to pull
Yeah,
off
this personality. You got to be a 9 or a 10.
We were all just gonna, second she stopped talking, it was just gonna be like, we're mad as hell and we're not gonna talk. Like we're just, yeah, fine. Right. Someone had to say it. And it was you. We've all been thinking it for a long time, but you finally said it.
Tattoos are not a personality.
Right.
The movies you like are not personality. And the things you don't like are not a personality.
Thank you.
But that was like her, she's stoned, she's out of it. And then an hour in, something triggered her. And she all of a sudden got animated and interested in something. And it's the most nonsense. Who cares?
Yeah, because 20 minutes ago she was like, "Who's that kid that like devoted their life to that thing they believe in?" Fuck her.
That asshole.
I think that's word for word. I swear to God, it's literally what she said.
I'm sorry. Tell me again about the what? The wine bottles cut in half that you can't tolerate. You're taking your big stand right here. You're so brave, and I'm so glad we have you on these front lines. Thank you.
Let's go back to stories about Italy. She's very proud of herself for this story that she tells with her and her friend Rain.
While we were in Italy, we went to this event, and at it was like a bunch of mutual friends, and me and Rain had gone off and like smoked. And then when we came back, I said this, I don't think I repeated this to you, but to like a bunch of random guys about me and Rain. I go, yeah, well, we just had a party of our own, so I don't even give a fuck about this party anymore. And with the way like I just present myself, or maybe I just like think everyone thinks I'm gay because I'm scared of the fact that I am gay, whatever.
Wait, we have to unpack that.
No, so then
No.
I said that and everyone was like, oh, like,
oh, they thought
I
you
was like,
hooked
oh,
up.
we just went and had a party of our own. I literally just had the best time of my life. I could go home now. I'm so sleepy. Like I said something, it literally made it sound like we went and did a bunch of coke and had sex. But that is not the thing I was gonna say.
Good. I'm glad that wasn't the anecdote that you had geared up for us. So she thinks so highly of herself. She made a comment to some people and thought that she blew everyone's mind with it. And you can even tell she was losing confidence as she was retelling the story.
I did notice.
Yeah, she's just like, yeah. And then I was just like, yeah, we probably just fucked and you guys missed it, right? And we're doing coke and
They
stuff
weren't thinking
too?
that.
Oh.
They're thinking about what an asshole this complete stranger is.
American is what they're like. Oh, fuck,
That's
American.
exactly right.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks,
The
Enya.
star of this movie coming in, bringing her
Yep.
shit and just spreading it around to everyone.
Here's an example of her trying to be self-deprecating and then catching herself and realizing that she can't be self-deprecating because she's way too into herself.
It's almost like if you dress up, listen, I like to think of my body like just plain, just me. Actually, this is a hard thing to talk about because when I'm naked, I genuinely think I am like so hot, which is crazy. Me and Elsie were talking about it. I was like, we have the kind of delusion that in my head, I'm like, no, just wait till you see it fully naked. Then you kind of get the picture. Like,
It's normally the
wait
opposite.
till I'm fully naked and I am propped exactly how I would anticipate someone to see me the way I pose in a mirror. Oh, you can't believe what you're
You
about to
can't
see.
believe what you're about to tap into.
So this is why her personality exists. She really does think that she's a smoke show. Apparently.
I think I figured it out. I think he came up in the age of Vine when he probably wasn't comfortable coming out, or it would have limited his audience, or he just didn't want to. He just wanted to be himself and define this character that he is. He was very young, so you don't think about it, but he's held on to this. And so many of these people watching are like fans that grew up with him, that just want to hear him yap and feel close to him. And she is a straight woman, but wants to keep everyone guessing because they're very popular in the gay community and they're very open. And I like that it's not like Dylan Mulvaney. They're not like, this is a gay show, we only talk about gay things. They're just talking about their lives and being somewhat real. But I think that's what the mystery is. I think she wants to keep us all guessing so she doesn't have to limit her audience.
Smart move.
I do the same thing.
Do you guys want to hear the real story from Italy, though? This is the one that she was gearing up for.
God.
She was excited to tell us.
Tend to me in the moment, and he grabs this lighter. Did I show you the one he sent me or gave me? Bruh. I think he just like had one of those moments where it's like, oh yeah, I have a lighter. I can literally feel it in my tight ass fucking pants right now. And he did.
She's talking about how she wanted to smoke, so she asked one of the people who are employed by the hotel for a lighter.
Didn't think about the lighter that was in there, and he pulled it out, and it was this one.
Oh my god.
He pulled it out, and like.
So it's a naked girl on a lighter. Is
Oh
what we're
my
talking
God.
about. Okay.
Oh my God.
I know. Crazy.
He had this water jug, so he's like, oh yeah, and he's like holding it and going like this. Mind you, he's like around my age, like maybe like 24. So he's like this, he's like, oh yeah, and like patting around for it, and I'm just standing and like kind of trying not to look, so I'm like, dude, just, It was like a lot. And
It's icky.
And he goes to give it to me. He goes, "Oh, I know you don't have to use this one." Like he like literally like pulled it back. Was like, "Oh no," and like started hiding it. And he's like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "What?" And I like saw it and I started cracking up. And I was like, "Dude, no, that is perfect. Thank you." And I
That's
like
exactly
took it
what
out,
you needed.
And then he was like, and like was had the bottle and was like going to walk away. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'll like was basically just like, I'll come back with matches." And I was like, "It's fine. I can use this. This is perfect." And he felt so embarrassed. And I was at that hotel for 3 nights. He did not look at me once.
Oh my god.
Like, he was so
If
embarrassed.
only he knew how like chic
How
that
amazing
was.
that was.
Yeah.
I haven't put together a like super clip in a while. Holy shit.
You don't need to.
She
You have
sounds
Enya.
so stupid. That was the big story, is that this guy handed her a lighter with a naked girl and then he was embarrassed by it. I mean, I can't imagine going on a podcast and telling a story that boring because I'm not Ray DeVito. But still, these people are very popular. You would think they'd have something to say that'd be engaging for their audience. And Koof, I'm sorry that your sister is watching this. It can't be good for your family.
Carl, I can't imagine going on a podcast and telling the story to the co-host and not using the microphone because I don't give a shit about this podcast. I'm just talking to my friend and this microphone is getting in the way.
At a certain point in that clip, I might be able to just find it. Yeah. They're both just staring at their phones. They're just like totally disengaged in anything else that's going on. They're just on their phones.
Sent me or gave me, bruh.
Could you imagine,
I think,
Adam, if we were out doing a show together and you're talking and while you're talking, I'm just like this. Yeah. Cool. Why is that acceptable for these two are sitting right next to each other, just completely engaged in something different?
It's not, and it shows you that no one there can help them or talk to them because Whitney Cummings will do that too, and you feel the whole thing just grind to a halt, and everyone just has to sit there and stare while she's completely unaware that time is ticking by, trying to pull up a funny picture of her dog.
Oh, the best was when Whitney Cummings had her boyfriend on, and she's going, "Oh my god, look what they're just saying on Instagram right now," because she was live streaming it or something. Oh my god, they're all saying you're so hot on Instagram right now. Like, fuck. How old are you, Whitney Cummings?
A reoccurring theme that all of these hosts are more obsessed with the chat than the chat is.
Yes. All right. What else do you want to play before we move on with our lives?
Oh, if you could hit that last clip that I sent you.
I wanted to play
it is,
that.
I don't know. I don't want to say anything. Just watch this.
Okay.
Listen closely.
and every day,
Wait.
my waking up, my whole existence feels like the like I'm paralyzed.
I was just
every day. The reason I think I smoke so much is because last year I became so just like disconnected, and I think about how often I called myself stupid. It was fully just because I know too much and I don't want to talk. I literally don't want to talk about anything, and every day my existence has felt like at least one moment I wake up and I come to and I'm like, I'm paralyzed, I'm flesh and bones. That is what my existence feels like.
No, literally.
But yeah, I really hate those restaurant nasty bottles. They're so fucking
Cups
nasty.
in the bottle.
Good night, everybody.
That's her closer.
Way to bring it back around.
Tied it all back.
And yeah, you made it work.
I keep forgetting there's a fucking producer standing there through all this.
Do you also forget there's hundreds of thousands of people? Like, they have a video that they put out not long ago. It has 1 million views on it. I know.
I like the kind of Rick and Morty-esque, like, or how about, when that experiment when you stare in someone's eyes for a long time, if you don't do anything, like you'll start to cry or something will happen. She starts this podcast with, I'm happy, I'm so happy, I'm
Right.
happy. 45 minutes later, I'm paralyzed.
I wake up paralyzed every single day.
Yep. No one thought you were happy. It did not come off that way.
It's a great point. We have some fun things to talk about. Steel Toe with the most amazing gimmick this morning to beg for money. And he's very happy with himself because he did make some money. We'll be talking about that. Adam was checking out our buddy Michael Ray Bauer, Donkeylips. We got a package on that. Opie talks about how his podcast used to be number 2 in the comedy category, which is true. I've talked about that before. And he explains why it's no longer number 2. Stuttering John was on Daybreak which was another TV show, morning local news show to promote his comedy at Niles, Ohio. We have that for you. We have new cow bikini pics. So much to get to. But first, I want to thank you guys for supporting the show. Supertip.gg/WATP, including KFT.
All you Saturday people suck. You are a bunch of fags. Only Nick Ers watch the Saturdays shows without me. The great Adam Busch. Skull.
All right, that wasn't. That was Adam. Let me get this super tip now. I'm sorry about that. You wanted to go off on your little rant there.
Sorry.
We're still working on our chemistry. Thank you, KFT.
Are Jenny and Lucy going to be in the Dabble House? Damn, they're a pair of tasties. Am I right, doggy?
They will be at Dabble House. And I was texting with Missy B today. I think she might be making a trip down to Florida to hang with us. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's going to be fun.
Let's talk gear, Carl. What's your favorite reverb pedal? Here's $5 towards the Dumble Fund for fluid leads.
Fluid.
I think it's a Boss. I think it's just the Boss reverb, I'm pretty sure. Amanda Lynn Nappy.
Carl doesn't like to admit it, but before every show, he calls Marissa Jones and blows his slide whistle in her ear. I think he hates her.
Hey, no one's brought up my slide whistle in quite some time. Funniest prop you can have on a podcast right there.
Wow, I haven't heard mine since you were debuting Super Tip. That's weird.
It is, right?
Yeah,
I've never seen you make that face before.
Brian Johnson is here with $5 on our Super Tip system. Brian loves Super Tip. He has fun with us.
Greta Thunberg Seuss, come at me, internet.
Uh-oh. Adam's stepping into
buddy.
that, huh? Yeah, thanks for that, Brian. You're the
How do I
best.
feel about Palestine?
Ambush, any progress stopping Lady K's WATP reign?
I mean, we just made $3 more towards the cause.
Is there something going on that I don't know about behind
Don't
the
even worry
scenes
about
here?
it. Don't even worry about it.
I'm going to let you read this one for us, Adam.
Arcanistov's theorem. WATP's rise is like Trump's. If StutJo had acknowledged you early, you'd have faded, just like Trump might have if the DNC hadn't stolen the election.
See that? We're getting real political on the show today. This episode is wild. It's getting even wilder because Dr. Steve is here gifting 5. Who are these podcast memberships? Very generous of you to do, Dr. Steve. Of course, if you got a membership, that means you can watch the bonus shows that we do. They're up there under the community tab or the members tab, all the links to those. And you can watch us do the live shows on Saturdays, 2 p.m. Eastern time behind the paywall. Detroit Dabbler, the SJ Living in the Past collection has been gold. Thank you, Detroit Dabbler. Yes, part of our bonus shows, about once a month, we go back and we check out an episode of Stuttering John's podcast from 2018. Mm-hmm. It's before the Dabbleverse began, but it's right in the midst of WATP discovering him and then him realizing that he's being goofed on and his response to that.
So close to the Big Bang.
Yes, it's all of that stuff happening, and we're going back and enjoying that all over again.
I love it, and I love hearing you and Jenny revisit all of that stuff.
Yes.
And we're seeing a little bit of it with Bauer because he's just stepping in and he's starting to do the same, like, you can't replay my stuff. That's a copyright infringement.
Right. Not understanding the rules.
Going through all the stages of grief in real time.
The Looney Tunes critic says, Zoomercasts are cap. I misspelled crap.
No.
I agree with you there, Looney Tunes critic. Stewie felt $2. These two are like human side eye at their parents. How do you pronounce this name?
Vito's
Gaia's
Cradle.
God, why can I never remember that? There's too many vowels. 100% that guy gets pegged. All right, my bad. I'm an idiot. I don't know. Stewie felt Disney Princess with the tism.
No, it's chemical. It is chemicals and fame.
There's definitely drugs involved. Listening to the ramblings of Enya is less gay than listening to the music of Enya. I guess. if that's what we're going for, less gay. Thank you, the Looney Tunes critic. Queefer Kumia gets super tip Stutterland. Is that 20 Mexican pesos? What is that? That can't be pesos. I don't know what that is. Why didn't you play the I Need a Lighter drop? What's the I Need a Lighter drop?
I don't know.
Maybe because we don't have an I Need a Lighter drop, I guess. Associate producer Ralph is here. I heard Carl plays triangle in the Buzzmeyers. What is TAFJ?
I'll assume it's Fuck John, and what's the TA?
Ah, yes. That was me on the triangle on the Buzzmeyers. If you were here for the very beginning of the stream today.
Good work.
Thank you. I thought I nailed it. We had to clean up some of its stuff in post. Get the tone right.
Your solo.
Get the solo right on there. All right. Let's talk about what StutJo was up to today.
Please, guys, Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, Venmo. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we don't deserve it.
So they're doing their show, and Johnny's back on the show. So this is from this morning's episode. And if you don't follow StutJo real closely, you won't know that not only is there a goal, but there's mini goals within the show. He needs to get to, by the 8 o'clock hour, just $200 left on the goal, or he doesn't feel good about it. And he has all these different milestones that he has to hit.
He has to unlock it like a video
Yeah,
game.
right. Yeah. To get the warp whistle at a certain point. It's crazy. So he's not doing well on this specific episode. He's $250 from the goal. He's not feeling good about it. And you can sense the desperation here, which is why Johnny's going to step up and step in for him.
Rebecca with $5 says, fuck off, Lab Glass. Pussy envy, big time. Ooh, donation war. I'm just trying.
Dude, if we start a donation war, I will stand for it. I will filibuster the donation war.
That's
like
right.
Cory fucking Booker.
Johnny will stand up if we can knock
I will
out
raise
today's
the
goal.
desk and the camera, and I will stay as long as the donations come in.
Stand up. Johnny will stand up during the donation rally.
Let's unlock the desk. All right, we're ready to go.
Johnny's
All I
ready to
gotta do is
stand
hit a
up.
button.
Johnny's going to stand up. We're desperate
I'm
today.
fitting to raise up in this bit.
We're desperate today. As long as the donations keep coming in, Johnny will stand up. So as long as, what should the clock be? 1 minute or 5 minutes that if a donation doesn't come in, you sit down?
Well, I did a soft test on this. We'll give them 2 minutes between donations.
2 minutes between donations. As long as donations come in, you stay standing?
Yeah.
All right. You following this, Adam?
Yeah.
This is brilliant right here, because Aaron's first thought was a super chatter said something mean about another super chatter. Oh, let's get a super chatter war going. And then you could say something mean about that person, and we just keep this going and escalate it. And I just keep getting money. And whenever Aaron thinks of an idea that gets him money, he gets very excited about it. Johnny, being the good sidekick that he is, says, I got an idea because we're not doing well. And Johnny has, I think, MS, right? His legs don't work.
He can't really stand up. Yes.
Right.
And that
His
it was
legs don't-
metaphorical to begin with.
Yeah. So he decides, he's like, I got an idea. What if I put myself in a very uncomfortable position? This is almost like those radio stunts they used to do, like if the baseball team was on a losing streak. Like, well, I'll hang out in the stadium until they win a game, or I'll broadcast from the roof of the station until they win a game. So they're doing the same kind of thing. And this is what Aaron was built for. He is such a carnival barker. This is where he's at his best.
All right, we're going to have Johnny. We're going to start the clock at, I'm going to start it at 2:25:30. So there's a 2 minute.
All right.
The way today's donations are going, you might not have to stand for very long. All right.
I know, right? It was a safe bet on my part.
2 minutes on the clock. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Johnny is standing, and he will stay standing as long as there are donations coming into the toe.
I can't wait to hear the people going, he's abusing you, using your disability to make money.
Hey, before you guys start saying that, I just want to say this right now openly. Yes, I am.
Let's not forget, he's also a shock jock. So he's got that going for him, too.
Yeah, that was shockingly unfunny.
He's so excited right now because now there's a stunt going on, and the stunt's all about donating money to him.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect stunt.
Right.
So
and it's something different.
Right. It's anything. Just anything different. They're going through the Cory Booker filibuster thing, and it's just boring, and no one cares. No one's engaged in it. And so he's like, guys, we're kind of desperate for some money coming in. And Johnny comes in. People start giving money immediately. But you notice they never specified how much money. it just resets every time there's a donation.
Yeah, they never do.
So it's like people are just putting in $1 just to be like, all right, keep standing, motherfucker. Like that just keeps happening. And Aaron's fine with it. He's like,
of course he is.
This is great.
First, Paul with $2. Restart the clock. He says, rise, Johnny. There we go. All right, 226.40 is the number on that one. You need me more with $1, says stand tall, my man. Fauci's Pangolin gifting a membership. We're at 245. And now Johnny's, all right, 2 minutes resets after that gifted membership. Jeff Jordan, if you want to pass along that gifted membership from Fauci's Pangolin, feel free. All right, Johnny keeps standing for 2 minutes.
You unlock the next level.
And every time a donation comes in, the clock resets.
We reset that clock, yeah.
Yes. So we're at
I'm really glad I didn't go with 5.
We're at 245, and oh boy, hold on a minute.
Oh, are they coming in?
Yep. Mary with $15 says, do it
Thank
for
you.
Johnny. Jacob with $10 says, this is war. We're down to 220 now with the Johnny rally continuing. Holy shit.
He's so excited. This is everything he wants to have happen. This is the perfect show in his mind. Everything's going perfectly. I like when he tells people if they want to give him money, go for it. Feel free. I love when he says, feel free to do that if you want to. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I know.
Should I? Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
man.
I was apprehensive at first.
Wait, but do you want me even donating to
Come
your show?
on.
I don't even know if you want it or not.
You might get
No, I do.
offended. I don't want to.
Okay. So now they're doing a thing where they're taking these super chats who are rooting this on, and anytime there's a super chat that says anything, it's hilarious because there's money attached to it. So they think it's great.
165 away from today. Andrea Plus says, doing it for Johnny. Nice taint.
Yep.
Nice taint,
Best
Johnny.
gooch in the game.
Let's do it for Johnny, man. We'll do it for Johnny.
Honky
more
with
mic
$1 says, if we pool all the donos, BYB Derek will fall on the edge of it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
no.
I wasn't paying attention because I'm trying to extend my.
Aaron couldn't contain himself with how funny that was because, of course, Derek is paralyzed from diving into a pool. But the word pool means two different things. So if they pool all the money together, it's not a good joke, is my point. Not a good joke.
My headphone cable. Yeah, dude, that's mean. Come on.
Oh, Helgi with $5.
was a slip.
Helgi says, this is like watching Cuba Gooding Jr. walk in his dive suit in Men of Honor.
Deep cut.
Well, I mean, they're just losing their mind over these chats. It's amazing how funny $5 could be on this show. If you got $5, you are Dave Chappelle. Pretty good deal. So, is the rally going to end? What's happening here?
Going in.
All right, Johnny standing up for the next minute and 5 seconds unless another contribution.
Is this the end of the Philibooker?
Every
That's what I'm calling it, too. When I do a standing bit, it is a Philibooker. I'm doing a Philibooker.
Well, every contribution that comes in resets the clock for another 2 minutes.
All right.
But it does look like this big $130 rally we just went on might be wrapping up as we have 45 seconds left, and Johnny is standing up for another 40 seconds.
You know what's great about this, too, this bit, and I guarantee they're going to bring this back again. Aaron's having so much fun, is not only is it making him money, but it gives him more numbers to throw around. Yes. He loves numbers. If we get within 50, I'll give you 30. And if we get to this amount by 8, we'll do that. And this. And now he's talking about both time and money.
He could have been an auctioneer.
He should have been an auctioneer.
I'm still standing.
All right, man. You might get to sit your ass down.
That's not a bad thing.
That would be 9 minutes. In 30 seconds, it will be a 9-minute stand. Let's see.
In 30, it'll be 9.
So far, so good. And then Penis Hat is next. 15 seconds.
The show's not even a show anymore. He's just literally watching a timer go down.
And that's how Johnny died.
If no other contributions come in, Johnny gets to sit down. Here we go. 10.
I get to do a countdown.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
So normally, we're only 2.5 hours into the show. Normally, the countdown happens at the 4-hour mark. And now he gets to do the countdown in the middle of the show. This is fantastic.
It's very exciting.
It's everything he wants to be doing.
4, 3, 2, 1. Let me hit refresh.
Of
Oh,
course.
$1 from Mussolini Tiff. He just kept it alive.
The Philip Booker continues.
The
Hilarious.
Philip Booker continues. $2 from Coltrane. He says, reset it. You need me more with $1, says poor Johnny. They kept you all the way to the end that time.
Right.
$5 from
Right.
Toe Rogan. He says, I'm helping.
Thank you.
145 away from today's goal. And we are on track with today's goal. Thanks to Johnny saving the show today.
Yep.
Yep, not you.
It has nothing to do with anything Aaron is doing. Johnny is saving the show with his disability. What a guy.
It was really hard to listen to what they were saying because from the second they came on screen, especially when Johnny's like real close to the camera and shot from above, like he's kind of looking up at you from this
Yeah.
deep well, and Aaron looks so small in the frame, and they just, I mean, they look like the villains. If there was ever any question, like these are the evil nerds, I would know. You're the bad guy.
Right. Yes. You played
Just
this
you-
role before.
You can tell from the visual. And if there was any suspicions that there might be some good there, you started by asking the question, would it be abusing a handicapped man if you're asking the question, Aaron, don't do it. If you're asking the question, then you're not the good guy. He was all about it, Johnny, when it was a fun idea when it started. He's visibly in pain. His
Yes.
smile is gone. He's having
Uncomfortable.
trouble. And the worse he feels, the happier you are.
Right.
Because you're the villain, Aaron.
Guys, maybe it's not appropriate time to say this, but tune in tomorrow to WATS. I am going to humiliate Blind Mike. It's going to be so great. I'm going to flash up. I'm going to flash up photos and stuff. Man, do you know what this is? You should, man. It's super cool. You're missing out.
And no matter what happens or how much he doesn't like it at the end or people are offended, just keep telling them he says it's cool.
Yeah, no. Mike told me this was a lot of fun for him, even though he's frowning now and I see a tear rolling down his cheek. He told me he loves this kind of stuff. This is interesting. So while this is all happening, our boy Melton was sniping the show.
Mm-hmm.
And what Patrick Melton was doing was just playing Aaron's show. Patrick wasn't even on it. He wasn't talking. He was just playing Aaron's show on his channel. And I was tuned into this a little bit today because the chat is very interesting over on Melton's channel watching all of this. And so somebody makes Aaron aware of that.
Actual Steel Toe fan says, oh no, there's a stream snipe that has 400. We have 700. We're almost doubling them. Ooh, that's rough. Another win for the Toe. All right, we got 1 minute and 30 seconds now.
I want to point out, because I was watching both of these, that Aaron is adding up his Rumble and YouTube viewers, and we know that Rumble is not real. The numbers there are not real. Rumble is real. It's an actual website, but you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was watching this on Melton's channel, and they were both under 400. They were hovering around the 350 mark, but Melton had more viewers watching Aaron through his channel than Aaron had watching him on his channel.
That's got to infuriate him.
Not a good sign, but Aaron quickly just goes, but we have 700 and they only have 400, so we're crushing it. It's like, dude, if you have 20 people watching this show, watching your show through your adversary, that's not good. Like, why would you think that they would have to have more viewers? It's not like he's doing Nobody Likes Onions. And by the way, when he does do Nobody Likes Onions, he gets way more viewers than Aaron gets.
Every time he says win, I think cope.
Yeah, right. Another cope for the Toe.
Of you standing. I'm sure there's a lot of people who hate Steel Toe that just despise that we're doing this for fun.
Right now, they're just fucking not even doing anything. The goddamn
shit.
crippled guy is standing. Oh, fuck, oh, I could do that. Like, yeah, you able-bodied bitch. That's kind of the point.
But this is interesting right now because now Aaron has been reminded of the Steel Toe haters. And now he's thinking about how they're perceiving what's going on here. Because, oh shit, there's someone sniping me and there's 400 people watching the snipe.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, I was having fun for a second.
Yeah, here I was making all this money, humiliating my friend, but now I think people are probably going to call me out for that.
Yeah, the haters.
At least you don't have an unhealable sore on your face that is probably AIDS or monkeypox.
Now that's a shot at Patrick Melton.
Wow.
Which is funny because his name was not brought up in the chat that he read. It just says you're being sniped. And you could tell it bothered him because at first he goes, I'm killing him. Another win for the Toe. And then he says that Patrick Mahomes has monkeypox.
At least I'm not an ugly jerk.
140 away from today's goal. Joe.
Very exciting. 140 away from the goal. Yeah. So he brings this up again without anyone even talking about it. You could tell this is now in the back of his mind. It's bothering him as he's doing the show.
All right, 236.20. And actual Steel Toe fans, sorry that we're just about doubling their numbers. That's unfortunate. Oof. I think it's definitely over for the I think the Toe has definitely won the war by a landslide. We got a minute 30 left, Johnny. If no donos come in the next minute 30, you get to sit down.
He goes, I think we've definitely won by a landslide, by the way. It wasn't close. Just if you guys thought it went into overtime or something, it did not. This isn't a game 7, all right? Just so you know.
Another cope.
Yeah.
And all it took was torturing a handicapped person. If only we had more of you, Johnny. Do you know any others? Can you bring some next week so we can make this our rally song? This will be the bit. Dun 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 dun.
I think it's so funny that someone tells him there's 400 people watching his show through another channel, and everyone in the chat is clowning Aaron, and Aaron immediately spins that into a victory. Rather than just be like, well, that's kind of shitty. I mean, you shouldn't be rebroadcasting someone without doing something to make it your own. Instead of saying anything like that.
Right, something articulate.
he just goes, well, we're fucking awesome. There's proof. It is? Okay.
Toad Climbs Mountain says should have been a $10 minimum for this abuse and throws us 10.
Yeah. Rather than take $1 to keep Johnny standing for 2 minutes at a time, maybe you should have thought of that a little bit.
Thank you.
All right, from now on, now that we're at a hundo, here's what we should do. We should have made some kind of minimum.
So now Aaron's like, oh, you know what? We could be asking for more money.
That's a really good idea.
This is working very well, asking for money. What if we asked for more money, actually?
And as that's happening, Johnny is starting to waver. He's starting to squirm. The smile and the sarcasm is gone, and it's just kind of sweat and a lot of movement.
His arms keep bracing himself. He's grabbing at things nonstop.
And what happened with his microphone? Was it in a stand?
It was, but when he stood up, he had to dislodge it from the stand.
Okay, that can't be helping him standing up at all.
Probably not.
$1 minimum to keep this going.
Okay.
All right.
I'm fine with that.
We're raising the stakes. You just can't do $1 every 2 minutes. No, you guys haven't been doing that. Susan with $2 says, Aaron, run in place now. Yeah, should I have to do something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You come up with
Tell
that
the
on
truth.
your own. I'm not an able-bodied person, so I thought standing was a big deal.
I feel like I should have to run in place or something. All right, start the clock. 242.50. 242.50 is the number. $100 away from today's goal. I stand in solidarity with Johnny.
Here we go.
I stand with John.
Let's keep this bit going.
Too.
Yeah. Now you're standing up. This is great.
I'm standing too.
How insulting.
I know.
Wow.
And
one leg.
Yeah.
The only reason to do this is to keep the thing going.
Right, of course.
Hey, guys, now I'm standing up. On this wacky. Shouldn't he be giving us money right now? What a crazy bit we're doing.
And you can tell I'm a good friend because I upped it to $10.
Yeah, all of a sudden now it's 10 now that he's standing up. All this time, 20 minutes has passed by, and there's nothing happening on the show. This isn't a show anymore. It's all about just, hey, give us money, and Johnny will still be standing up, or maybe he'll be sitting down. I don't see money coming up. There's money. He's still standing up. What kind of fucking show is this?
I finally saw what you were talking about. I didn't grasp it before, but he's obsessed with these numbers the way John is obsessed with bigger words, because they both think the sound of it makes them come off like smart and like this is a real show. He doesn't want to talk about his life. He just wants to report on things that are happening, but he won't create anything that's happening, really. So he's just letting you know these numbers as if it's like info. It's his job to tell us, and he just wants to keep going back to that so he doesn't have to talk about himself.
Well, all of the great broadcasters through the years come on and talk about their ratings and talk about how they're crushing the competition. And I remember Tucker Carlson, he'd spend the first 20 minutes of every show talking about how he's beating CNN in the ratings.
Another win for Tucker.
Let's look at this demo. Here's a demo that advertisers really enjoy, the 25 to 54-year-old male. Let me show you what my numbers are compared. This is what Aaron would be doing, though. in the same situation. It's all he'd be obsessed with. You ready for it to get as douchey as possible? Just when you thought this was as bad as it was going to get, oh no, it gets worse.
Keep standing. Helgi with $5 says, I have to do jumping jacks. All right, I'm not going to be able to refresh Streamlabs or PayPal or Venmo while I'm doing these jumping jacks. $75 away from today's goal, and $248.40 is the new number. So now I have to do jumping jacks for 2 minutes.
This is the most gay thing we've ever done, but it's awesome.
For sure. This is 100% the gayest shit we've ever done.
It's not gay, it's humiliating.
Yeah, it's really lame.
It's really lame. And I know for them, everything is gay. That's like the word that they always use. But there are other words to describe how embarrassing this is for both of you.
All right, so I'm starting my stopwatch, and I'll let you know when it's just about.
Wait a minute, I've been
2
doing
minutes.
this for like 20 seconds. 248.40 is the number.
No, not the number. I'm talking about. I started my.
You know what? I take that back. The way he does jumping jacks is gay. Never mind. This is the gayest thing.
I'm starting my stopwatch for the 2 minutes thing, so we don't go over on that end.
A minute
So now
30.
I can just reset it every time we reset.
I don't have to go to the gym today.
Right, dude, we're getting so much done. We're being productive and helping our fitness. Although the sad part for me, exercise, standing counts as exercise.
I gotta move this. I keep tripping on it. I'm gonna fall down.
Johnny's gonna pass out.
All right, 1
Did you get
minute.
your steps in today? Yeah. Did you get your stand? Yeah, I
1
got my
minute and
stand.
10 seconds left.
Do we have anyone else doing anything?
Nope.
All right.
All good.
There you have it. Bouncing tits do not an audience make.
1 minute.
Example A.
1 minute. Less than 1 minute.
I gotta say that shirt and the jumping jacks does really make your man boobs pop. I don't know if they're really.
Look at how happy Aaron is, though. And the whole reason, everything with happiness with him is money. They just had a nice rally that happened in the middle of the show, got him back to one where his goal is on track. And he's so excited to be doing jumping jacks on his stream.
Really there, or if it's an optical illusion. But I feel like either way, I believe. Although they are some Zegler tits, I will be honest. Those are small full rangers.
35 seconds. Yeah. 30 seconds.
Stop trying to be entertaining, Johnny. We're talking numbers here, all right? Gotta get it back to numbers. Adam,
I refuse to believe that he's not getting off on torturing this guy, because it's one thing to go stand. It's another thing to go, well, that looks hard for you. I'll show you how easy it is for me. And while I'm showing you how easy it is for me, you run the show. Yep. You do all the talking. Yep. He's just piling more and more weight on this guy, waiting for him to crumble so he can make money off it.
Johnny wants to know if he can sit down now.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron can't even be bothered to see if there's money coming in.
No, because he's a happy starfish, isn't he?
He really is.
Oh no, I think we're gonna end the what is it? The Filibooker is gonna come to an end at this point. All right. Everything was fine until Aaron started jumping up and down. Let's just be clear.
Fuck.
The able-bodied person. who just
JB
been a
Gunner
cripple.
TV with $5 says, "Great tits. They're flopping like Johnny's legs as he stands."
You're
no
more
more
out of breath
money.
than Johnny.
I like he keeps saying no more money. You're the best.
Okay. So I have one more clip on here because this is as humiliating as it can be. It's probably time to call it quits and go back to doing a show, right?
53:30. 2 minutes left. I think I'm going to call it. I
Okay,
think
you want me
I
to
want
sit down?
I want to get back to a show. Yeah.
All right.
There was a funny bit, and you got us down to $50, which is fucking awesome.
This is almost 30 minutes went by the way. I want to point out.
I thank you. I thank you for coming up with this idea.
See how badly Johnny wanted to sit down? Because he goes, there's 2 minutes to go. He goes, we'll call it. And Johnny goes, yeah, it's enough. We get it.
But I want you to sit down because this is.
Oh, how sweet.
Nervous?
That's so sweet of you, Aaron.
I trust you.
You shouldn't.
But no, it's really more just the
Help your friend. Help him sit down. Get off the
It's really
phone.
more just you're exploiting yourself.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I've been made a party to your exploitation of yourself.
Oh, so you just don't want to be part of it anymore? Okay.
You're making
I'll
me
exploit myself more on my show if you guys want to pay me to stand some more.
191. So wait a minute. So you went to 54. So 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes you stood tall.
Gotta get in shape if I'm gonna do stage time later in the summers and stuff.
Oh, there you go. 191 Redbird says, the fact that your listeners will die before donating out of the goodness of your heart, but will cash out their retirement to torture a man with a rotting brain.
You guys are all so funny. Was that a funny bit or was that just a profitable bit? I've never seen Aaron more excited to be on his own show.
This was like whatever the opposite of that Jerry Lewis telethon was.
Let's breathe the kids out and torture them for a minute. What do you say?
Dance! Dance!
Crawl back into your wheelchair.
Yeah, you're right. He is so happy. Normally he's trying to cope by holding himself, but he's giving himself a hug today.
He's literally arms up in the air, jumping up and down, literally. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to him.
Look it.
It's like the movie Gladiator when they show the crowd scenes and every single person is standing like this, like a video game. Like that's him during this part of the show. He's like, money, 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 money.
And if you're supposed to be a radio guy, jumping jacks and standing is not the best radio.
He's got a meeting in May to get back on the radio. I'm sure
they want more calisthenics.
Definitely. If you could be out of breath more often, that'd be great. Advertisers love a live read where you can't breathe real well.
And let the audience decide whether it's racist or you're picking on the handicap. Let them decide. You don't have your own barometer of what's tasteful and how you should treat your friends. Let them vote on it.
I have one more clip on here I wanted to play because Aaron is talking about Hackamania, and there's a number of lies that come out that I want to address here.
No, PAA podcast. I'm not going to go to a failed event that might have to change venues because nobody's going.
Okay, so he's reading some type of comment about Vegas, and he says that the Vegas event we have coming up, Hackamania, hackamania.com, promo code WATP, is failing and may need to change venues because it's not selling any tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Completely made up, completely fabricated. The venue is booked, it's done. We've already sold plenty of tickets.
No, he's a news guy. He's got numbers,
viable
and fractions. No. This is he knows
sold
what's
more
up.
tickets than last year already, and we still have 45 days to go, or 2 months, or whatever it is. So none of this is
Why would
accurate
he lie
at all.
about it? I don't understand.
Well, it's amazing, Adam. He does this thing, and I've seen this with other guys like him, where they read something on the internet from just an anonymous random person, but they want to believe it, and that makes it true.
That's too bad, by the way. Taste Fairy says, come to Hackamania and leave with bed bugs. The good news for them is they have nowhere to go but up from last year. They couldn't even fill the place. They didn't have USB cords. They had to borrow them from people who paid to show up. And everyone left with bed bugs. So
okay, none of that is true. And I love the fact that he goes, wow, what a failed event they had that they decided to throw again the next year and make it an annual event that all of a sudden more people are already going to. The USB cord thing is such a weird, they force people who paid for it to give them their USB cords. No, they showed up to the venue and realized they needed a cable, and they sent Rocco out to go buy one, and then by the time he got back, they found it. That's the story. It's not that compelling. It's really not that interesting. They asked around a little bit. Rocco went to the store. They had it. It was fine.
And the bed bugs?
The bed bugs are completely fabricated. Could you imagine if there was a hotel in Las Vegas that had bed bugs? That'd make the news. That's a pretty big deal right there. So that was just a completely made up thing. Do you imagine people who went to Vegas, got bed bugs, and they're just like, so we do this again next year? Where do I sign up?
Definitely.
So fucking stupid.
You released a video this morning, I think, with Trucker Andy talking about Steel Toe right here. And he was raising money by playing Hava Nagila.
Oh, God.
Let me tell you something, Aaron. My niece is like 13 years old, and when she learned about the Holocaust in school, it really fucked her up.
Mm-hmm.
She just had no idea that she lived in a world where that was possible, right? And she became obsessed with it. She would read about it. She would just go down this wormhole on YouTube. She was just trying to process it. It was a little disturbing. When we took a trip to New York, everyone got to pick where they wanted to go, and she wanted to go to the Museum of Tolerance.
Okay.
Because she was having such a hard time just processing this. And I remember we took her to the Museum of Tolerance, and afterwards we were talking, and I don't remember how it came up, and I don't even remember the setup, but I told her a joke where we all know it. The punchline is, Minecraft? I thought you said Mein Kampf. And the look on her face when I said that was like this, shocked, like ecstatic. She had no idea you could joke about a thing like that.
Right.
And once she learned you could, everything changed. And it was like she finally had an outlet for everything she was feeling. And it was like, well, if I have to live in a world where this kind of thing exists, I'm so grateful to live in a world where at least we can laugh about it. And then she became obsessed with Holocaust jokes, and that was her bit forever. And that's its own issue. But the point is, Aaron,
what a story arc for your niece. Holy shit.
6 million, am I right? Huh?
Right? Because if you're lucky enough to spend like 5 minutes with someone like Dan Byrne or Patrice O'Neill or anything, you learn that this is why we're allowed to make these jokes. And you don't get to tell me that I don't appreciate or see the value in a good Jew joke. But when you play Hava Nagila while you're raising money, it's so lazy. It's so boring. It just says, I am making fun of people that I don't even know anything about. I picked the lowest hanging royalty-free fruit that I could get my hands on to make just the cheapest, most boring joke that exists. You're not a broadcaster. You're not a newsman. You're not even Scorch, Aaron. So this is going to end really badly because no one who watches what you just did to Johnny is thinking, well, that's a man who learned his lesson from that sexting case. There's a man who's reformed. You're just getting worse and worse by the day, and I can't wait until we reach our goal and you're gone.
He's I don't want him to go anywhere. I want him to stick around, but yeah, he's been
humbled.
He does need to be humbled. He's been run off the radio. He's been run off Twitch. He's been kicked off YouTube multiple times, and he doesn't learn. He doesn't change. The content of his show, we were talking earlier about how everything's gay. The content of his show is geared towards me when I was in 7th grade. This is how bad he is at insults and explaining things. Just everything's just gay.
That's what I mean by that's so offensive. Like,
right.
When we used to say it, whether it's true or not, like, it never occurred to me that we were actually referring to somebody's sexuality when I was like 8 years old. It just meant lame. So when it had another meaning and someone's like, I don't want you to say, fine, whatever, I don't give a shit. He's not holding on to the old way of saying it and saying I'm naive about it. He's not saying, no, this is how I feel. I want a certain kind of man. He's just being boring and lame.
Yes.
And
lazy.
Sorry.
It's laziness, for sure.
It really is, and that's what's the most offensive. If you're going to make jokes like that, make it funny, give it a purpose, and stop abusing your friends.
From last year, they couldn't even fill the place. They didn't have USB cords. They had to borrow them from people who paid to show up, and everyone left with bed bugs. So it can only, and they're having it in like the poorest hotel in Las Vegas, so they're doing all right. Taste Fairy says greasy clothes is more of a Melton problem. I do kind of feel bad, like that whole thing's shutting down. They're paying for live viewers now, from what I've been reading.
Just another blatant lie. Now he's paying for live viewers. Like, all of these villains go through the same arc. You know, obviously we saw Kevin Brennan go through this arc where, poof, Shuli's buying views. They're buying super chats. None of it's real. Stuttering John did that. Now this retard is doing that. He saw it on a subreddit somewhere. It must be true.
And I love how he paints this picture of like I was reading, like it was in the Washington Times.
Right, right, yeah.
You were scrolling Reddit and you found. Nobody sent it to you. You didn't read it. You watched it on your little phone.
They really don't have anything else to talk about. They took a big L. Remember they had their big announcement that was going to change the narrative. That we shit all over that. That went nowhere. Nobody's talking about them.
Wow, a lot of context there. Thanks, Aaron. Everyone knows precisely what you're talking about. Remember when they did that thing and I was just like, that sucks? And they're like, yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot. That was a pretty big W for me.
Yeah, another win.
Like, what the fuck? What kind of broadcasting is this? Say what you're saying. Explain what you mean.
I mean, I've always said, I said it a while ago, when you make your show based on something else, you don't do an actual show, you're on a time crunch. You're going to fall apart at some point. And I'm not going to act surprised, but this is about the last hurrah. This is the peak. Well,
so he just said when you make your show about something else, his show is about making money. His show is about give me money.
Well, it's about something.
He proved that. He did 30 minutes in the middle of it because people were giving him money, so he just kept doing it. So now he just realized he made a mistake. He goes, and he's talking about Patrick Melton's show, I'm sure. And he goes, okay, here's the problem. Your show is at its peak. It's like, wait, what? Is that what you're saying? Because I thought you were winning and he was losing and he's a loser. So now he's going to realize that was dumb.
No, I think the peak was, it kind of peaks with our peak. Like, it can't do anything without me.
Whoa, so you've already peaked?
That's what it sounds like.
He's getting all fucked up. He should not have brought this up because now it's ruining his argument completely.
Wait, my widow's peak.
I love that.
So, like, when we were going through all the shit, that was the peak for them. Now that my stuff's coming in for a landing and everything's aces, yeah, unfortunately.
Everything's aces. I thought there was going to be a settlement deal for this felony case. There still hasn't been a settlement. It's weird.
Lee, that's going to mean a bust for them. The boom has bust. The bubble has burst, if you will. Plus, we do such a good job of like shitting on them and making fun of their fans. And we make them really mad. They get upset.
Mm-hmm.
We just have fun with it. So I think we're kind of impervious in many ways.
It seems that way. That's why you're talking about it.
It's so bizarre. If you had to explain to someone, demonstrate to someone what gaslighting is, it is Aaron's show at pretty much any point within the show. He'll tell you how someone else sucks and how he's amazing and how his numbers are great and they're trailing off and they're losing and they're going away and it's not going to happen anymore.
I was reading it.
It's not far from Chad Zumach, honestly. We got a lot to get to today. Hey, Bauer, Michael Ray Bauer, Donkeylips. Adam's put together a package for us on that. I have some Opie stuff I can't wait to talk to you about. Stuttering John did another daytime show, another cow bikini girl is coming in. But first, I want to thank the people who are supporting this program. You do that going to supertip.gg/WATP. Of course, you can always get a membership on YouTube, gift memberships, super chat us. We appreciate that. All of that helps produce this program, and we thank you for it. Koof, $5 says, I'm sorry, guys, for this podcast. Thank you for not killing yourselves. Be right back. Got to go book plane tickets to Greenland. No, we're going to Vegas.
No, don't.
Come to Vegas. That's the better place to go.
We've lost more today than
Coach Weekly coming in.
That Johnny standing bit seems like something Aaron came up with and talked to Johnny about it before the show, a bit, if you will, as it were.
Aaron explained to Johnny that he is more of a stunt boy than a co-host. He then reminded Johnny about how bad Monday shows have been. Thank you, OJ.
Thank you, OJ.
Oh, yeah. Coach Weekly pays very close attention to these things. So there was a lot of preamble that went into that beforehand. Woe is me. Things aren't going well. Johnny felt the need to step up, and boy, did he.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Producer Chris, how come you don't do anything like, be crippled? I'm the only guy with an able producer over here. It's the worst.
I'll work on it.
What are you talking about, Carl? I'm not plotting against you. You're just doing it great, buddy. Domina K. Cadet. Sic semper tyrannis. Sic tandem versum dabbleris regum.
You just cast a spell on us, Adam?
I think I did.
Oh, fuck.
Not cool, dude.
We're going to need some kind of hunter or someone to help us out.
Hey, guys, check it out. I'm standing up. Usually I'm sitting or all on fours or on my knees. Hey, you guys want to come over? I can get on all fours.
I'll be right over.
There's a couple right there. Mm-hmm. KJ does so much to support this program. I see her all over in the Dabbleverse. She's awesome. Another $50. KJ, thank you very much for that. She says, here's the rest of my fake super tip. Can't believe the toe caught on. Oh, you're not supposed to write that in the super tip. God damn it. Disappointing. Thank you, KJ. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you very much. Over on YouTube, Stewie Felt. I'm going to let you read some of these. Adam.
Enya, solo, gay. Enya with Clinod, not gay. Vito's guy is cradle. 100% do gets pegged as in fucked in the A.
Thanks for spelling that out to us.
The one pun, begging and cripple exploitation. It's like PB&J.
It really is. Can you turn up your microphone a little bit, Adam?
Sure.
I swear you get quieter during the show every time. We start off with good levels.
Aaron would make a good strip club DJ by Stewie Felt.
Yes.
That's accurate.
That is, but he doesn't want to yell about money if it's not going directly to him, though. I don't think he'd be as passionate about it if it was for Crystal.
Yeah. Put your hands together for Johnny Crutches.
They both have that like disaffected energy thing where it's just like, the voice does all the energy, but the inside is just dead.
Mm-hmm.
Section 8 smoke detector. Beep.
Very good.
Stewie Felt, a carnival barker, and his geek.
Yes.
That is, yeah.
Sad, but very
John
accurate.
Ziermites, a member for 20 months. F. Marry Kill. Dylan Mulvaney, Daniel Alexander, that yapping nitwit from the first segment. Hi, Adam. Hi, Chris. Carl.
All right. The yapping nitwit has a lot of money. So I think I'm going to kill her. No.
Yeah, right. Think about this.
I would have to kill Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
F Dan woke dad and marry the crazy broad for the beginning. What do you guys think? Am I crazy on this?
It's rough all around.
That's F marry kill for you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Got to make some tough choices here.
Yeah, I can't imagine being married to woke dad.
You can't.
But fucking him sounds terrible too. But I do want to kill Dylan.
All right.
Wes Little, 2 years clean and sober today after almost 15 years of opiate and alcohol abuse. Good for you, Wes Little.
That's
that
great.
wet brain StutJo is saving lives. Cock meat sandwiches.
That's awesome, Wes. Congrats.
That is. AO1012. Okay, have a seat, Johnny. Enjoy your wheelchair prison to toe.
He really is a super villain at this point.
It's wild. It's like young Lex Luthors, and they're just like Monty from $5. This is like the Raw Phil YouTube channel getting more live viewers than watching Dark Side Phil than Phil does on his own live stream. LOL. Yes, it is.
Yep, that's what it is.
Coach Bickle, member for 3 months. Well, now that Aaron is standing as well, now it's worth money. LOL.
So stupid.
Right.
Yeah, I was just mocking him so bad. Stewie
Yep.
Felt's back. That toe peninsula on his head is so sad.
Toe Peninsula. You know what? I didn't even bring up the fact because I'm so distracted by what he was saying about Hackamania that he was trying a comb over thing with this look that he had. Do you see that? He's like spreading it out. So it looks like, there's tons of hair up here, guys.
Why does he spend time on his hair when he's going to wear that hoodie? Like
Tom Myers when he was trying to convince us.
It's just very thin and blonde.
You can't see it, but you can feel it.
Yeah. My hairline's actually over here. Okay.
Hamhead, all this steel toe cringe is hurting my taint.
Sorry about that.
Monty, also, Carl, you should do a segment on Phil when he does his DSP Tries It segment, where people contribute to the goal of watching him eat fast food on stream. He is such a pathetic individual.
We should revisit DSP because him and Aaron are the same guy now.
Rock Orby, 2002. He wanted to fight 5 guys, but can't do decent jumping jacks.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. He was threatening to beat all of us up, and then you watch that.
And he was more winded than Johnny was.
Right.
Hellraiser 69. We salute you and thank you for that super sticker.
Yeah,
it's so
Hellraiser.
Nice to have royalty here.
Yeah, for sure. Hellraiser mentioned he's coming to Vinnie Paulino stand-up show at the Comedy at the Carlson later this month.
Very cool. I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there. So definitely say hi.
Diablo Sandwich. Stunts for money. One step closer to Perry Caravello. That's very true.
That's a great point.
That's what he's... Somewhere there's a clip of Aaron going, "I'm not your dancing monkey," that we can supercut right to him.
Yeah.
Dancing for money.
Right. I mean, it comes back to then Melton was trying to get him to eat a whole stick of butter for $50. Aaron's like, I would never do that. Are you kidding me?
But this guy will stand for you.
but I'll put this guy through as much pain as you want.
Yeah, I know
Just
broads
$1.
that'll do that for attention.
Stewie Felt a few months in Gen Pop. That'll be the cure for toe. Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Gen Pop.
T-Will 420. Aaron has so many similarities to Opie. No self-awareness, no radio talent, or any talent in general. Aaron is worse, though, because he is a goo gobbler.
That's true.
That is true. That's factual.
Opie is all man.
Hamilton Burger. How much for Carl to stand on his club footsies?
Well, we'll start the bidding at $2,000.
I'll do sit-ups and dance around you.
Oh my gosh, it's so rude. You would do something like that to me.
It's worth it for the $1 every 10 minutes. Like, what is that?
All right, let's talk about your buddy, Michael Ray Bauer, fellow Nickelodeon star from the 90s, of course, Donkeylips on Salute Your Shorts. And now he is doing a stream. He doesn't have a job. People have told him he should get a job because he can't pay his bills. He disagrees. He thinks he should just ask for money. And now he's offended by the word e-beggar.
Mm-hmm.
He sees this word showing up. He's just like, whoa, guys, there's a lot of name calling going on in this Dabbleverse. I don't know how I feel about it. You want to start off with our first clip? Do you have anything to set up here?
Just that I find him enjoyable because it's the anti-John. He often says so many of the things you always wanted to hear John say, but never would. And since it's like, he's like John's stand-in, it's like a shitty valley apartment studio, less than 400 feet, stuffed in the corner. You know you're seeing it all, and he's just free associating with no microphone, looking greasier and greasier. But every once in a while, he says the exact opposite thing of John, and I find that very satisfying. Like in this clip.
I don't know shit about shit. That's just facts.
Mm-hmm.
There's moments in Warren K. I love you, brother. Thank you for everything. But I know a lot of things at certain points in my life, or I think I know a lot of things. Then I'm proven incorrect, and then I learn something different. And then I realize I don't know a lot of things. And that I don't know shit.
I mean, that is a very wise approach to life right there.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he has that awareness makes it difficult. We've talked about this before. When we find someone in the rough, we're like, oh my gosh, you got to hear this person's podcast. You got to hear what they're up to. And then they respond by going, yeah, these guys are right. That's not a good effort on my part. You're like, okay, well, good on you. You get it.
Mm-hmm. He gives off the vibe, and I think we'll learn more as we continue to follow him. He gives, I have a feeling if he had everything he wanted and had the money that he's asking for, it still wouldn't work out in the same fashion. I get that feeling.
True. Well, he's very excited because he made the news. And yes, I did just speed up the audio to 1.25 times because he's a slow talker. So we'll push through here.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I made the news, y'all. I made the wrestling news. You would think I would have made like the TMZ news or like acting news.
Nope.
But I made the wrestling news.
Noosh.
For my last video where I talk about my health issues, how the doctor basically called me disabled in my current form, limited mobility, heart issues, a bunch of other problems, blood pressure, anxiety, stress. I've had strokes. I've had this. I've had that.
Speech impediment. Did your doctor mention that? No, okay.
Slight headache.
Now they're looking into surgery.
Hysterical pregnancy. A little bit.
For a vein, like a stent or something in my heart, and I'm freaked out, right? So the other day I made a video, and you guys can watch it on the channel. It'll be up till today, but I'll probably put it for members only in the next couple of days. Why? I don't know. I get anxiety. I put things behind paywall. I freak out.
So he posts these videos and he explains that he even gives them clickbait titles to get people to click on them. But then people do click on them, and then they clip them for their shows and they talk about them, and he gets very nervous about that and takes them down so you can't find them anymore.
Are we supposed to be celebrating that he made the news for being declared mostly handicapped?
Yeah. Isn't this great? Yeah. Even the wrestling news is reporting on the fact that I'm disabled now.
We did it.
Cool.
We made the goal.
No such thing as bad publicity, Adam.
I guess
you know
so.
that. Well, you said he made the goal. Good news, he does make the goal. He's got a goal of $60 to make on his 3-hour-long live stream, which, okay, I'm glad he could pull that off. So this is him. Once he's reached the goal, I'll just play this for a little bit because, Adam, you watched through all of this and it gets a little repetitive.
We are now into my final half hour since we reached the goal. And let's go Dabbleverse dabbling.
Isn't that interesting? He reached the goal, so now he's in his final half hour. Who else does? Oh, right, Aaron Imholt. Yes, it's that exact format.
Oh, let's go Dabbleverse dabbling. People still don't know what the Dabbleverse is, but let's go Dabbleverse dabbling, okay? Let's watch a video or show from Doom, the Amazing Clipper. And this was an interesting video that I watched the other day. It's about Chad Zumach talking about digital panhandling. I guess the Dabbleverse or whoever's in the Dabbleverse or these people, they're questioning, oh, Doom, don't copyright me, please. I won't copyright you. Don't copyright me.
What?
But can they copyright when they use clips from other people?
Don't copyright me, producer Chris.
I guess the Dabbleverse and the entertainers in the Dabbleverse, you know, they talk shit to each other. They call each other e-beggars, this and that. They're not funny. They're not this. You know, they create that whole nasty environment where they talk to each other. And, you know, they give personal attacks or insults. And, you know, they make money off of each other with a lot of the bad shit. To some people, that's fun. Not really to me. But every once in a while, there's an interesting topic or storyline that maybe I want to cover.
Okay. So he's kind of couching this that I'm not one of these guys. I watch these Dabbleverse videos and they make fun of people and we're going to be making fun of Chad Zumach, but I'm not one of these guys.
It's toxic.
Yeah, right.
He's also doing a very John like, what is this digital panhandling?
Right.
What? I couldn't possibly know what that means. And he feigns ignorance for like the next hour, trying to pretend that he doesn't see a similarity between what he does, what people do in the Dabbleverse, and OnlyFans or a pretty girl that's selling pictures. It's all the same, buddy. I hate to break it to you, but it's all the same boat, and there is no special distinction for your unique brand of entertainment.
Well, let's see if he agrees with you on that.
Now they're all afraid of this fucking word, and the Dabbleverse is creating fear with this fucking word. And now people are going to be defending this word, digital panhandler, moving forward on all of their live streams. And it created probably a ton of more content just for this word of being accused that they're possibly a digital panhandler. What the fuck? This is the Dabbleverse to a T. That's why I need to stay away from it. But I'm going to say at the end of the day, I am not a digital panhandler.
Okay.
I try to create entertainment, content, tell my stories, perform, entertain, and I accept donations, super chats, or anything you're willing to give per that entertainment and that source.
I am sober and off drugs, but if you have any pills, grass.
Reminds me of California Sober, the way that he's not a digital panhandler.
But not even he didn't even notice the segue. Just completely smooth without any sense of it. Right there.
Everyone in the Dabbleverse are like, I can't be in it because they're talking about how everyone's begging for money, and I don't want to be a part of that. By the way, you can give us Venmo and PayPal, and let's get into some O&A talk. He knows a lot about Opie and Anthony, which of course I enjoy.
Fill us in.
Anthony is talking about Opie. Yeah, I don't really know too much about that world, but I knew they were radio hosts back in the days, like in New Jersey or Philadelphia on the East Coast. And really haven't watched too much of the stuff that's going on nowadays. I do know that that guy Opie lives in a house or a penthouse in New York, and he's trying to make content.
Nailed it. That's all you need to know.
You are up to speed.
He's got a really nice place, and he's trying to make content. Yes.
The only person in this 3.5-hour broadcast that Bauer condescends to even slightly is Opie Hughes.
That's awesome. You got to love that. So now he starts talking about his childhood stardom and how much money he was paid by Nickelodeon. You and I talked about this a little bit last week when we were covering him, that it's, you know, you're not getting rich by being on a Nickelodeon show when you're 11 years old, probably.
Or what? I don't know. But Semi-Furious Buttanoid said, yeah, 1990 Nickelodeon child stars were pulling in $1 million per episode. I think that person was being sarcastic. So maybe not. They had my back. Yeah, like 1990 child actors were pulling in $1 million an episode. Thank you very much for defending me. And I'm just going to say this. You guys can clip it if you want. I made $1,500 per episode on Nickelodeon Salute Your Shorts.
I make more than that doing MLC. This guy's a loser. He's a pathological loser.
Under an AFTRA contract. We only did 26 episodes total. And that was in the span of 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math on that. That means he made $39,000 his entire time being on Salute Your Shorts. Gross. He's going to explain. It's not even that much.
I also had a manager and an agent. Agents require 10%. Managers require anywhere between 5 and 15%.
You paid
by
just
legal
5,
law
right?
that they can get. My manager got 15%.
That's not
I had
great.
a feeling.
it's not great.
So automatically out of my $1,500, that's 25% gone. Then I live in California.
It's cheap there,
The
right?
taxes and the rates are through the roof, even in the early 90s.
No, but he's not a digital panhandler. He's just talking about how he doesn't make any money and woe is me and all these expenses and very little pay. This is just normal content, right?
Imagine if he finished this rant by announcing that he is off to ride on his boat and write his one-man show. Or trying to pass himself off as some kind of like millionaire. Because this is a very John-like rant, but then John tries to say, you know, he's the admirable, and he's the king of the world. This guy, I feel like he exaggerates a lot of things, but he isn't exaggerating. This is very factual.
Well, John loves to talk about how Howard ripped him off and didn't give him any money. Only because he can then say,
right,
Leno gave me tons of money and I became a successful millionaire on television.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that Donkeylips doesn't have.
And it's interesting because they are trolling him. No one thinks he was making $1 million an episode.
Of course.
Yeah. So he knows what's happening here. He's a little more aware than I think he lets on, at least about what he's doing here in this Dabbleverse. About his own health issues, I don't know.
Right. Here's another clip that you wanted us to check out, and it comes to e-begging.
Oh, this is great.
So is that e-begging? When I'm providing a service? But why does all this hurt me? I don't know. Inherently, I want to be loved by everybody, and that's never, ever going to happen. People hate my voice. People hate the way I talk. People hate my stories. Whenever I say something that's stupid or whatever, they have to correct me.
They're not thrilled by smell.
I can't.
If I'm a conspiracy.
My doctor's always giving me bad news.
Serious, they got to debunk me.
But I love the posters behind him because he's got V for Vendetta. I don't know if he was in that movie. Did he have was he an extra
No,
or
he had
something?
a Goonies poster, and I don't think he's in that.
Okay. Because then he's got next to that, V for Vendetta, huge movie. And then he's got Focus, the web series, which is the worst poster I've ever seen, but it looks like he is in that.
He was in the Raiders.
Right.
He did play for them.
Sometimes people use me for press as well. Gain whatever you can from him. Let's make it a story and gain whatever press you can.
Can you get any press from talking about Donkeylips?
I mean,
I don't think that's true.
We're trying.
No. Yeah.
Hasn't worked yet.
I just love that he was so hung up on this e-begging phrase for like an hour, and this is 4 days later, and he's still right there. He's wrapped in the middle of it. It's a little performative, but he can't wrap his mind around it, and he's just trying to raise money off it, and I think he sees the Dabbleverse as a place for him to get some new fans.
Isn't that interesting that his biggest concern is being called a digital panhandler? He's like, and they throw around this insult that is, guys, wild. You might want to turn off the stream right now if you're not ready for this. They're calling each other e-beggars and digital panhandlers.
Throwing around the hard E.
Can you believe that? And he goes, now, people might think that I'm doing that, but I'm providing a service where I humiliate myself on the internet for lulz and a little scratch, if you don't mind.
When you're a comic, when you're a musician, you play gigs. You play enough gigs where some are incredible and others you're passing around a hat. Sometimes you pass around a hat. You don't put on airs about it. You don't make distinctions between you and the busker outside and
He
shit
feels
on
guilty.
the busker outside because of what you're doing is so noble. Come on, man. It's all the same thing. Busking, donating to an OnlyFans. That's the part that I think might start to get frustrating because what we'll find is that he's not willing to give up entertainment and what he thinks is Hollywood.
Right. He always says he's
for a
an
job.
entertainer, and that's why he makes money. But yeah, he really is concerned about his image for some reason, which I would think would be the least of his concerns.
Yeah, because it's like his image, but not how he looks.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You
Like,
see,
he'll
it's
humiliate
so-
himself on the internet and drool over himself and not be able to talk and talk about his health problems and what a mess he is mentally. And then he goes, but then there's some people who think I just do this for money. Yeah. So whatever, everyone thinks you're humiliating yourself for money. I think we lost Adam.
We did briefly, but
Oh, you're back.
now. Yeah.
Hey.
All right. I have one more clip on here that you grabbed about Clarissa explains it all.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Melissa Joan Hart?
Melissa Joan Hart. This is like,
very beautiful girl.
yeah, it's like, this is like what John thinks the Kate Meany tapes come off like. He thinks this is him. He
This
doesn't
is sad.
understand. Yeah, it's.
Did you ever know anybody from the cast of Clarissa Explains It All? I did. Me and Melissa Joan Hart, we were friends for many years, and we would hold hands, and we would go to events, couple of events.
Whoa!
And we were younger, but I can technically say she was like my official first girlfriend or crush or
Okay, those are two very different things. My first girlfriend, a crush, or just a girl I had a bunch of posters of in my room that I would whack off to.
Whatever you want to call it.
This is so sad right here.
She was like my official first girlfriend or crush or holding hands with person.
We're falling quickly.
Not since the British invasion. Have I heard someone brag about holding someone's hand? The fuck? Holding hands with person.
He was like a father figure to her.
Yeah. I went to her wedding many years later, but
Oh boy, she didn't want to
Right
hold
in the
hands
heart.
with me then.
That's so
Old
sad.
grimy.
So, what's your assessment on Michael Ray Bauer? Is he interesting to watch? I know that you're comparing him with Stuttering John and trying to find parallels and things where Michael Ray Bauer is obviously a better guy overall.
To some extent, I think so. Other people have been covering him for longer, and I think these tragic flaws of his will reveal themselves. I can't help but have sympathy because I do know what it's like when people just assume like there is no difference between if you're an actor, you just must make a ton of money every time you work. People don't understand all the different things, and specifically that those Nickelodeon kids got really, really screwed for a really, really long time, and that it was 2 years of his life that he's still talking about. It was 2 years, 26 episode, $19,000. Like, that's defined his life. And of course, I find that fascinating, and seeing how he handles it. I think, like I was saying earlier, the more affection I feel for him, the worse it'll get, and the more he'll disappoint me. And I'll see that if I were to devote my life to just making this guy get on his feet and get his shit together, it would not work out. He does not really want that.
That's interesting. It seems to me like you're saying he needs to get over the fact that he's in Hollywood and an entertainer and move on with his life.
I mean, yeah.
Because he's still holding on to this thing he did in the early 90s.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we know. I recognize you. Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
And there is an interest in it. And if
Sure.
you can use that interest to build an audience, do it. But he's not really doing a show, and then he like shits on women with cleavage. He really doesn't like that. And he uses religion in ways that
weird.
make me uncomfortable. Like, he only really brings it up being blessed and what a blessing this is when it's about money. Then
I
suddenly
see.
he's a very pious person.
Yeah, he's not
So
blessed when it comes to his health.
or
Whoa, whoa,
interested
whoa.
in doing anything about it.
What's the problem with
Anti-cleavage?
cleavage?
What are we talking about here? What's going on? I built a podcast on that.
Yeah, it's weird the lines he takes. I would like to keep exploring him, especially as he goes down this Dabbleverse. It's so funny. It was too long to show, but Chad, when he was watching Chad, did the exact same thing that he did. Chad was like, I'm not an e-beggar. When do I ever beg for money? And it cut to
all these
Bauer's
guys
doing the same bit. And Chad's just charmed because Bauer called him an entertainer. He said, those entertainers in the Dabbleverse. And Chad went, oh, hello. Good to see you.
We still have a bunch of stuff to get to today. We have Opie coming up, Stuttering John on Daybreak, the other television appearance he did when he was in Ohio. But first, I want to thank you for supporting the show. supertip.gg/WATP. That's where you can come and support the show. And Anonymous did with $3 says, I want to see that fat Nick guy fight Boogie 2988. Fat Nick guy? You talking about Donkeylips? Because that would be an interesting matchup. Those two, they have similar builds and health problems, I would imagine. Guys, thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Over 1,000 people here live watching us. We appreciate that. Get in with a super chat, get a membership, gift some memberships for the bonus shows that we do. Clyde coming with $10 says, humbling men like Stuttering John and Steel Toe is almost impossible. The only thing self-serving and delusional people understand is power and fear. Using reason is pointless. This is why prisons exist. Dark but true.
I think that's very, very true. And we see it. We've seen it recently in Opie. I think we see it in Bauer. We see it in Steel Toe. They don't like doing this show. And the only reason they do it is to prove something to the people that don't believe in them or don't like them. Spite is their sole purpose for getting up in the morning and going to bed. Like, you watch John doing these comedy shows, he doesn't enjoy it. He's not having fun. He's very, very nervous, and it never goes quite the way he wants it to. Why is he putting himself through this? Except that somebody somewhere told him he wasn't a comic, and he says, "Oh yeah." 40 years later, Steel Toe, you're not a newsman. Oh yeah,
right.
Like, this is what we're seeing.
They have something to prove, and they're just like, one of these days they're going to prove it, and everyone's going to figure it out.
Opie says he's getting a $500,000 deal in the next 5 years.
Right.
Okay.
He's got 5 years to get that next big contract, and then it'll all be all set.
Just long enough away to not worry about it and not have anybody check up on it, but close enough that it sounds like I'm still in the game. What a great number he just pulled out of the air.
Every one of these guys all has that goal in life of that final thing where someone sits down and goes, you were right all along and we were wrong.
Right.
They all are waiting for that moment
the
to
day
happen.
in court that they never get.
It's
well,
never going
Aaron
to
might get the day in court.
Aaron will get that, but it's never going to happen. They're never going to get that thing they need.
They're all Monty Python being chopped to bits going, it's still good. It's still good. I'm still doing the news.
Oh, this is interesting. Looney Tunes Critics thinks that Stuttering John plus Clearwater Chad equals Donkeylips. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I got to think about that a little bit more, but first glance, yes. Take these ones for me.
Eddie Valentino, what's sad is that the Aussie guy tweeted at DDP, who would definitely help Bauer with DDP yoga, but Bauer would never take the help. I've heard a lot of this stuff. Yes, Eddie Valentino. People offer him things, and it never quite works out.
Well, that would take work. Yeah, then he'd have to actually get in that shape and put some effort into himself.
Maybe
he's
Aaron
supposed to
could get
complain
into
about
shape. Stand up for a while.
Yes.
Lori Beth from all that really fell off. No, she's really funny, and she didn't fall off. She's actually a very heroic person in terms of all that Dan Snyder stuff. She was someone who spoke up very early, and if she fell off, it was probably because of that. It's Greta Thunberg you're thinking of.
Right, yes.
The
dead.
gutter.
Just, yeah. Stewie Felt is back. StutJo has created a lol cow power vacuum. Yes, and it does raise the question, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Do all of these people have these similarities because they're once had big jobs, they don't anymore, and now they're begging for money? Or is it what happens when we just make fun of them for a really long time and they all start to have the same reaction?
I think it actually is probably narcissism. There's a personality disorder that doesn't allow them to act the way they should based on their current situation. And so I know what you're saying, Adam, like an object that's being observed will behave differently than an object that's not being observed. And that's scientifically true. And it's certainly true of Stuttering John and what he's become and turned into. But I think the thing that all of them have in common is their narcissism.
Mm. It's interesting because they're from such different places. I assumed my connection with John was because we're both from the same place. We have this history, but then I got the same thing with Opie, and I'm like, well, that's a little different, but it's so similar. Now I realize it can be anyone from anywhere as long as they suffer from this same thing or have these similar circumstances that make them what we used to call whack packers and we now call low cows.
Yes, very true.
It's how you know he's going to end up in the devil. It's how you know Bauer's going to end up there because he's like, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be there. It's like, welcome home.
Yep, you made it. Zach Hoffman, member for 13 months. Thank you, Zach Hoffman. F. Donkeylips. I see what Dan Snyder's cutoff for his. I see what was Dan Snyder's cutoff for his creepiness. There's enough mongoloids in our world.
You know, Zach Hoffman, that shit is so fucked up that there are people that actually felt, well, why not me? Wasn't I pretty enough?
Oh, God.
This is how insidious it is. This is how when
Brutal.
it's, you know, the stars and other people are like, well, why can't, you know? These are they're
Adam,
kids.
are you confessing to something right now? What's going on?
Okay. How much time do we have?
I want to be molested.
Stewie Felt, T-Box says, this guy is boring. Does Gibby have a podcast?
Which one was Gibby? I don't remember.
I don't remember Gibby. Stewie Felt $10 says, odd-looking fat kid actor as adults is an odd genre. Chunk and the ginger from Sandlot seems to be the winners in that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Chunk is an entertainment lawyer. He got out of the business from Goonies, right? That's what we're talking about. And Ginger's, he's killing it on social media. You can have a healthy attitude about it. He's like, you can segue into other things if you choose to.
Rocco Orby, 2002, $5 says, most of Joan Hart seems very normal nowadays, partly because she didn't have to deal with Dan's podiatrist, Snyder. She didn't have to deal with Dan Snyder? Wasn't she on Nickelodeon?
No, that wasn't. Dan Snyder did all that and the Keenan and Kells and that stuff, and she had the same producer that I did, a guy named Alan Goodman from it was a different world.
Nice. Good for her. Larry Appleton with a $4.50 super sticker from Australia. Thank you very much, Larry Appleton.
Appleton.
Oh, what?
It's how they would mispronounce his name on Perfect Strangers. That's Marklin Baker.
You're right.
Bronson Pinchot would say Larry Appleton.
I did not even catch that.
This has been going on for years, I think, with this guy, by the way.
Probably. All right, let's check out some Opie shit.
Ba, 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 ba.
So Opie is talking about the run that he had as a podcaster after leaving SiriusXM. He signed with Westwood One, their podcasting unit, and that was when we first started talking about Opie back in 2018. And when he started, he was on top.
When I first started the podcast, when it debuted, it was right behind Joe Rogan. I know that sounds crazy, but if you go back and look at the charts, when I first started the podcast, in the comedy podcast category, I was right below Joe Rogan. And of course it drops because there was interest at first, whatever.
So Joe Rogan didn't drop.
Right. Yeah, he's still being talked about as a top podcaster. So Opie rightfully points out he was number 2. I remember when this came out, it was a big deal. Opie Radio, he's on the top. And so he says, now, of course, it's going to drop off a little bit. And I think that there is some truth to that when you're brand new, that's when the most people are checking it out and figuring it out. And not everybody's going to stick with you. But if you debut at number 2, you should be in the top 100 a year later, I would imagine. Maybe top 50 in 5 weeks. Let's find out why this happened to Opie.
Ever. But I was off to a great start, and we were doing really, really well, and the numbers were really, really good, and the advertisers were really, really good. And then Carl and Vic died within 6 months of each other, and and then at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to turn this on in the morning because I still like doing it. I got a decent GoPro. I got some decent views. finally got a mic. And this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Those are his decent views. That's great.
I know when he's talking about views, he's talking about behind him, by the way, decent views. But there couldn't be a bigger disconnect between the words he's saying and the way he's saying them.
Oh, completely.
I mean, my friends died, and that's why my show tanked. It would have been amazing if my friends died.
I still like doing this.
I still love doing this. What I want to be doing.
And be nice to me. I'm in mourning. I'm mourning.
Yes.
That's why I'm all black.
Right. Yeah. very, very much looking for some sympathy, but also just always has an excuse for all these things. The advertisers weren't good. The show was not good. You go back to all the old WATP. Somebody might have posted it up on YouTube. WATP versus Opie, I think, was that guy who does that for us. He's pesky sex pest.
Stuttering sex pest.
Stuttering sex pest.
Yes.
That's it. I think he might have done that.
He's
You
the
can
hero
go
we
back and
deserve.
hear it. The show was not good, but he's acting like, no, the reason is because I lost my co-hosts. And now he even admits that it's low effort now too. I mean, it's always been low effort, but at least he would do things. Now he doesn't even do things. Well, he does walk around New York. We'll talk about that. But this just makes me sad for this guy.
If it turns out into anything else, great. But my goal isn't to, to put a whole bunch of money into a studio and hope that I could relive the dream that I already lived. So that's why.
Wait, why are you doing this? He can't explain it to us. This is like a job interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know, man. I already had a great job before this.
What's with all the questions? No one asked him anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
He's explaining himself.
He's just explaining why he sucks now.
He's always explaining what the show isn't and what expectations we should be tempering. He never says what it is or what he's doing.
He's directionless. And now he's starting to get to a point where the people who are engaging with him are hate watching him a lot. Because for a while there, he had the pod squad and everyone was having fun and we were all checking in with each other and shout outs and, hey, did you go fishing yesterday? All that kind of fun stuff. But now people are calling him out. And he does not like that. You might notice the way the Opie's lit. Hopefully that's the reason. His mouth looks like it's black, like maybe he's got chewing tobacco or something's going on. Someone else has another observation about it.
Why is my mouth blue? My mouth's not blue. Oh my God, it's not blue. It might be the lighting or something. I'm kind of in the shadows right now. My mouth's not blue, you weirdo. All right, I gotta go. Hit the like on the way out if you gave me a few bucks. I don't. Stop with the dumb crap. I don't drink wine, Ryan.
It's blue.
Matter of fact, that'll get you a bin.
Oh wow,
yeah.
I don't even drink that much, so you gotta go. Goodbye.
Wow.
Goodbye. Wine stains. No, I don't drink wine. I literally have 2 beers a week, you weirdo.
If someone was in my chat going, Carl, how much meth did you smoke yesterday? I wouldn't be like, yeah, I don't smoke meth. You're banned. It's like, that hit close to home or something? Why does he have to ban the guy for that?
I had no idea that he had a drinking problem until right now.
Now we know.
We do, and it's real. And that's why his lips are like that. And it does explain a lot, doesn't it?
Seemed like an overreaction for Opie on that one. I think everything's getting to him. Here's another episode where people are pissing him off.
I'm going to ban Opie's grandmother today. Goodbye. Goodbye.
It was probably his real grandmother.
But Opie.
You don't have the fans to spare, Opie.
Yeah. I know, and he's going through and just banning people now. You might want to get a mod or something so they can do that on the sly, the DL.
He just got a mic. Now I need a mod.
Yeah, people are just fucking with him with the things. I mean, this has been happening for a while, but.
Super chat, excuse me, get out of here. E-Rock is posting the entire Jim versus Opie video today on X. Will you watch it today? No, I think it's already on my channel or it's already out there. No. At the time me and Jimmy fought, on the radio. It's out there already. It's been out there for many, many years. Detroit Dabbler, $1.99. You should team up with Carl and get better numbers. Oh, God, no. Oh, God.
I'm not offended.
JFK. Opie, the low levelers are picking on you because Stuttering John broke out and is on highly successful multi-state comedy tour. John is killing. All right, thank you, JFK. I'm gonna go. This is just too much nonsense.
He's gotta take his ball and go home now. People are messing with him too much.
Why would he have that kind of response? What if somebody was like, Anthony, Grillo's got a book out. Okay, goodbye. I don't care. Well, fuck you. Like,
right. It's so weird.
Letting you know that's your world. Why are you pretending to not be in it?
Yep, that's a good point. And we're going to talk more about this video that just came to light. That was the famous Opie and Jim Norton fight with Esther Koo in studio that was referenced there because Opie's acting like that's been out there for a while. And yeah, the audio's been out there, but now there's video and you can see everyone's reactions to it.
I just saw
posture and
it's fascinating.
It is fascinating. More on that in just a minute. First, let's talk more about people fucking with Opie in the chat.
Let's grab a tenner. Rick from New York, $9.99. E-Rock was on Carl's show. He said Anthony told him you said you gave out E-Rock's phone number over the air on purpose. Anthony confirmed, said you called it great radio. Yeah, that's not true. But thanks for your $9.99. Believe what you have to. I felt insanely guilty about that. It's not true. The lies. Yeah. Oh man, we went 7 minutes without talking about Anthony or any of the garbage from the past. That's just simply not true. E-Rock was on I think he was on his honeymoon, and oh no, that was a different time. No, I did not give out E-Rock's number on purpose. Yeah, I felt very, very bad about that.
So right, that was a lie that someone told Opie to get him to think that all that happened with E-Rock and Anthony and me, and everyone's trying to paint this picture of Opie that isn't true. And he reads that and he thinks that it must be what people are saying. So then he gets mad at E-Rock and Anthony for doing things they never did because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
They're spinning everything. Their goal is to make it look like I was the worst person on earth. Their goal is to make people believe that I was useless on the Opie and Anthony show. Whatever. But believe what you have to. But that's a flat out lie, and E-Rock knows it. If he would calm the F down and start thinking about the past a little better. No, yeah, it was great radio, but I also felt incredibly guilty.
E-Rock would calm down. It's crazy to me that Opie comes on and is just like, yeah, Anthony and E-Rock are trashing me. If he ever listened to Anthony on the show or E-Rock on the show or Anthony on his show or E-Rock on other people's shows, they really don't trash Opie. No. They tell you their experience and they often offer advice.
And with the coolest demeanor.
Right.
I can't imagine E-Rock upset what that would look like.
Correct. He's not changing stories and getting hyped up to like trash Opie.
And if you were doing a good job every day on your show, Opie, then you could just disprove them. If they were making these accusations about you or trying to tarnish your legacy and your life's work, you could just put on a good show and prove everybody wrong. I wouldn't know if they're telling the truth unless you showed me every day, like you do. Now I know for certain that you
Right.
were not, that you were load bearing, Opie. You were not carrying this thing.
Well, that's because he wasn't doing what he does best, and that is walking around Manhattan, filming things and commenting on them. And not only does he do that on the Opie Unleashed stream, but then when he has a really good one, he tells you about it on this show to let you know what you're missing out on.
You got to watch my walking around New York City videos. And then a really nice black SUV pulls up, and this blonde woman gets out with some people. It was obvious that she was a very important person. And I said, that's Amy Schumer. Oh my God, that's Amy Schumer. And Don, no, it wasn't Amy Schumer. I was saying that because she was a big lady. It was Amy Bloomer. No, it wasn't her. I just said that because the lady that was getting out of the SUV was a bit on the chunky side.
Pretty good stuff, huh? Imagine if you were there watching that when that happened. Holy shit.
So funny he said it twice.
Yeah. So guys,
Has she
it wasn't.
responded yet? Has she made a comment or?
It actually wasn't Amy Schumer, though. I don't know if you understood, Adam, what Opie was doing there. He was calling another fat woman out that wasn't that fat woman. It was a different fat woman.
He's like New York entertainment royalty living in the top of a penthouse in Midtown, whose day sounds like a tourist from Alaska visiting Times Square. How was your day? I think we saw Amy Schumer. That wasn't her. It might have been. I don't know. Whatever. Woo, what a day.
I went to the place where they filmed Ghostbusters. They kicked me out. I wasn't allowed to be in there at the time.
I had an interaction with a homeless person that didn't go well.
Right. I saw a 9/11 memorial and I shit all over it.
Why is working on your show ahead of time not an option? You would not be a slave every 7 minutes to these things you can't stand and ruin your life if you just came up with a show. Why is that not an option? Why can't you try?
He says something here that he has said the opposite of this before, but I think this is what he really feels, because you wouldn't say this out loud if this isn't what you really thought.
Okay, people, remember, if not for GH, Ant and Jim would not have a career. So let's move on. It's as simple as that, Ralph P. You know,
So if not for Greg Hughes, Opie, then Jim Norton and Anthony Cumia would not have careers. And Opie agrees with this wholeheartedly.
You know, it's as simple as that. No one else hired Anthony and Jim Norton and many others that you know and love for the Opie and Anthony show. I saw talent in Anthony back in the day, and then I saw some talent in Jim Norton back in the day. So you're 100% right.
This goes back to what he was saying about E-Rock, where he's like, I gave E-Rock his career. He would be nowhere if it weren't for me. And then he explains the meeting where Eric was proactive to set up a meeting with him and then present him what he could do for his show and give him all this great stuff. And Opie went, oh, yeah, you're hired. It's like Jim Norton was also hired by The Tonight Show. He worked for Leno for a while. I mean, I don't have to go through Jim Norton's resumes, but on tons of shows and in movies. It's like other people recognize his talent. It wasn't just you. Anthony Cumia was on the Howard Stern show doing the Jackie Martling impression contest, and they loved him. And then they're like, but he does a radio show already with guys who are trying to be you, Howard. But if that hadn't been the case, I'm guessing he could have been a regular on there. I mean, Sal the stockbroker ended up getting a job. So I'm pretty sure Anthony would have been snatched up at a certain point, or whatever. He would have found his way. Like all these guys, I've hired tons of people to work for me at agencies, and never once did I think like that person would be homeless if I didn't hire them. No, they're talented. That's why I hired them in the first place. Someone else would have snatched them up if I hadn't.
No, you got to get in there and you got to remind them every chance you get. You gotta tell them.
Yes, I made you.
You know, it means nothing when you hear somebody say, you know, that guy, that talented guy, taught him everything he knows.
Right.
You go, okay. You don't really care. But when someone says, you know, that guy taught me everything, I owe it all to him, it means something. And if you wouldn't sit here trying to take credit for stuff that's not yours, people might throw you a bone and acknowledge that you helped their career. Or, I know this sounds crazy, Opie, you could do it again.
Well, yeah, I was just going to bring up, if Opie's hires were Patrice and Jim Norton and Anthony Cumia, he could sit there and be like, I know talent. I get this better than most people. And he'd be like, yeah, man, good for you. But then it turned into Vic Henley and Sherrod Small and Ron the Waiter. And you're just like, okay, so you just got lucky a few times. I get it.
We all watched Rocco go from, live streaming DabbleCon to a successful show that does way better than Opie does. Opie's eye for talent had Rocco and Cardiff and OJ begging to be on his show, and they worked their way in. It was the best thing he'd ever done, and he vowed never to work with them again. That's his eye for talent. If you would have hung on to either of them, you would have something resembling an impression of a career.
And you should go back to them. I think they want to get back on your show, Opie.
That'd be the best.
You guys would have a blast.
So good.
So, so continue attacking the guy that actually brought you those people into your lives. Yeah, that's smart. Ralph P., I like how you think, sir. Look at that. And a little Zen for everybody. A little Zen.
Is that the opposite of Zen? Explaining you're the reason why someone is successful in life because you hired them.
You know what, Ralph? You're not blocked.
Hubris.
That wasn't even a super chat. He just had to put that up. And who knows if Ralph P is a fan. He probably saying this sarcastically to get Opie to agree with him. Because I swear I saw Opie just saying recently, he's just like, look, and I know they would have been successful without me. It's like, just depending on what inputs he gets, it's a different output.
Yeah, right.
It's weird.
Watch this, honey. I can make Opie say cheers.
Yeah, right. He's really good. He has no control over his show or his life. We're proving that. Now, what he doesn't do is let his guard down and talk about his family. And I'm excited to say we finally get a glimpse into the home life of one Greg Hughes. Now, he got into a bad accident last September where he broke some ribs and deep bone bruises, the whole thing. And so he hasn't been on his scooter in a while. We just got his scooter again. And he's a little nervous about getting hurt again. So he bought a helmet. So he's Kevin Brennaning around New York City. And he tells this anecdote.
Yeah. I picked up a helmet and I look like the biggest dork. I should wear the helmet on the live stream so you could see that I look like a dork. And it's one of the reasons I told my wife when I came home, I walked in the house with my new helmet. And of course, it got exactly what I was hoping. A lot of laughs from my family. They were laughing their asses off. And then my wife's like, what is wrong with your head?
So we finally hear about what's going on with him as a father. And it's the whole family pointing and laughing at what a dork he is.
That's what he wanted, huh?
It's actually a step up from his family's last appearance of, we need the debit card. Get out of the car.
Yeah, who could forget that?
Dad, we appreciate you leaving us alone in Costco, but now we're going to need you to come back in so that we can get all this shit.
And he's telling us about a funny visual.
Yeah, I know.
Opie, come on, man.
All right, let's talk about this fight he had with Jim Norton. The video just came out, and people are letting him know that this is what's going on.
Did you know that the video of your fight with Jim Norton was out there? It's been out there for many years. So, all right. It's the actual video footage of your fight with Jimmy, not just the audio. Kyle, I know.
So this is Unique who's messaging him here and letting him know, no, this is different than what's been out there before.
Fucking video's been out there. This is one of these weirdos that just is a nosy, just a nosy one that just clips shit and talks about people. God, you guys are weird. The Jimmy fight's been out there for many years.
So Opie is claiming, even though multiple people are telling him, no, this is a brand new thing that just came out. Finally, he gets corrected.
The audio has been out for years, but never the visual. Just popped up in the last 24 hours. All right, whatever. Dude, whatever. Yeah, I fought Jimmy a million years ago. I think Jimmy's a piece of garbage. I think he's incredibly vindictive. He would sabotage the Opie and Anthony show when he was having a bad day or if someone did him wrong. So enjoy the stupid fight from many years ago. I don't give a crap. I'm just glad I don't have to see his stupid face every day.
Jesus. Isn't that great?
What a child.
Yeah, I know. Instead of just being like, oh, okay, so there is a video. I thought it was always on. I didn't know that was
stupid face.
I don't want to see stupid face anymore.
I know he doesn't care.
Right.
But if he did,
yeah.
Can't you just say, yeah, it wasn't my best day.
Right.
And then people will be like, oh, he's human.
I would have done things differently. I bet Jim would tell you he would have done things differently. Yeah. We worked closely together and we clashed.
He's still trying to win that fight.
Right.
Carl, who does he think he's talking to? Like, who does he think this audience is? He thinks this is O&A fans that are not supporters of Anthony and only like him. Is that who he thinks he's talking to?
No, I think he's actively fighting with the haters right now. Doesn't it seem that way?
That's all it seems like. Who does he think this audience is? Like, the O&A pool is only so big to begin with. You think you have enough that like you to just block them? Like,
yeah,
this is your audience. Even if they're the haters, this is it. There's no one outside of O&A that's just stumbling onto your YouTube.
Don't tell him that. God, he's going to quit. Don't tell him that.
Oh, okay.
He's got tons of fans. They love and support him. Come on.
It's coming down the pike. $500,000 a year. Coming down. Any
minute now. That offer's coming.
Hold on.
So this is the video that everyone's talking about. I have a very exciting news about this.
from
hello
your
on
end.
the air.
I don't feel comfortable around you. I don't feel like,
But why?
like you give a fuck about me.
Then why don't, again, when I called you 2 weeks ago and I go, or I text you, I'm like, is everything cool? And you're like, yeah, everything's cool.
And it was, and we discussed it, and then the last I don't know, the last 4 weeks have been weird again.
And
So I don't know why.
Well, maybe this one's on you, dude. Maybe hold on. Maybe you're feeling. You
Jimmy,
just said I feel like
Jimmy,
I don't give a
can't-
fuck about you.
But it can't always be on me. You don't.
You just
are you trying to
said-
tell me you don't come in here with your own fucking moods?
Most of my moods have. Every time I walk in here in the morning, if I have a mood,
It's
it has-
obvious to everyone. And
Okay, so this is Opie, no self-awareness at all. This is the Greg Shells thing that Anthony told the world about. And this is the fight that they're having where Opie was in a shitty mood, doesn't even acknowledge Jim when he comes into the studio. And then they have to start a show together and have this rapport and try to have some chemistry. And Jim's pointing out, like, dude, can we just connect a little bit so that this isn't so difficult to be on a radio show together? And Opie's response is, I think it's your fault. I think this is on you, asshole. Anyway, we're going to break all this out on a bonus show. I'm very excited to do a WATP bonus episode breaking down all of the fight between Jim and Opie and analyzing this body language and how
He
dismissive
just said right
Opie
there,
is.
right there. He was like, can you just consider that in this specific instance, you're at fault. Oh, so I'm always at fault.
Yeah,
like, I don't
yeah.
even know whose voice I'm doing anymore. They're all the same person.
They all sound like my exes.
No, he fights like a child or a woman.
Yeah.
That's not going to offend anyone, right?
You have to put that chocolate down. Oh, so I can't eat anything ever. Yes,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
I guess I'll just exist on 0 calories then. Okay, fine. We still got Stuttering John stuff to look at. We got a game from Cardiff. I got a cow bikini. Jade is going to be showing up on the show to celebrate 609. All of this is happening coming up. But first, I want to thank you guys for supporting the show. Supertip.gg/WATP, like Ricky Bev.
My niece got into the Opie podcast. She's obsessed. She went down a rabbit hole, and it turns out Carl and Vic aren't dead. Nope. Both faked their deaths and started new lives far away from Opie.
That wouldn't shock me, actually.
Yeah, that is true.
Carl Ruiz was 42 and just didn't wake up. Like, huh? He was doing a show the day before that.
He never speaks about his death outside of something that happened to him.
Yep, I know. Even when he went out for the funeral or whatever it was, and they went to what's his name's house from Dives.
Oh, right, Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. They go to Guy's house, and everyone's there to celebrate Carl Ruiz and being friends with Carl Ruiz. And Opie was podcasting from that
fucking Zoom.
And Guy Fieri goes, "Dude, you're doing that right now, man. Yeah. It's all on the show. I remember reviewing it."
He told him repeatedly to stop doing it.
Yes.
Because he came back in and goes, "You're still doing that?"
Yes.
Embarrassing.
Couldn't help himself.
In lieu of talent or humor or skill, he thinks his ability to be impulsive is his talent. That's his secret weapon. Because when he's around funny people, they can make that work. But on his own, he's just an asshole. Like stomping on a cake.
Mm-hmm.
Stewie Felt. Gibby is from iCarly. Yes, she is.
I've listened to iCarly podcasts, but I've not watched the actual show iCarly.
Is that
Okay. A plane has hit. I rewatch iCarly.
Boom. His mom.
Boom.
It's not the actual end of the show. That's just a clip from the No, we're not in the show. A clip from the iCarly girls who were obsessed with 9/11 jokes.
They were.
Your niece might want to get into some 9/11 jokes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that'll come up. There was a point where we had to be like, all right, you need to stop. Like, we can't. People can hear us. Stewie Felt. Opie's enunciation always makes me mad. Yeah, it really makes me mad.
Why would it make you mad?
Because it's not an excuse to not be funny. It's not. He's just copying Brother Weeze, right? That's all.
Big Daddy Dodo says, "Goodbye, Grandma." Stewie Felt $5. He looks like the crazy Mentat from the Lynch version of Dune. Anyone?
He's right. Yeah.
Sounds right to me. Rocco Orby 2002 says, you know how irrelevant Opie is? Otherwise, Schumer would have clapped back at him. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, he's going out of stream. I think you made that point in real time, Adam. Like, oh, what did Amy say to that? Like, no, she doesn't know. No one knows.
And just to hammer home how he doesn't know what he's doing, he went for it and he had to whisper it.
Yeah.
Right? So who's the audience for this? Is it people that are like, yeah, stick it to, or is it people like, be cool, there's something for everyone, so it's really for no one.
Yeah. Hey, everyone has issues with their weight, Opie. No, I know. I'm just saying. Stewie felt $5 says, if Opie did the dance on the Joker stairs, it would give him a hundy. I would give him a hundy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be something for him to do. He never, and that's something that Anthony said, if he's going to go out and be unleashed in New York City, you got to show your face. You're the star of the show. He's always behind the camera and you can't see. You know who else's face you never see? Cardiff Electric. What's up, Cardiff?
Hello.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You ready to talk about
Busch?
Cardiff.
You ready to talk about some Stuttering John? Yes. Oh, wait. I'm not playing that music. Not on this show.
Easy there, buddy.
Bloody ass. Can I get a little sympathy? Because I got a bloody ass.
Go!
I'm bleeding generously. Because I got a bloody ass.
Skull.
Stuttering John did the stand-up shows in Niles last week. Did OJ make it out to that? He said he was going to.
I don't believe he did.
Jeez. OJ's really letting the Dabbleverse down
Stop
lately.
picking on him. My
No.
friend.
Never.
Apparently, he's the only handsome one we have, so we need him.
That's
We
true.
need his face.
Yes, we do.
Stuttering John was on Daybreak WYTV, Channel 33 in Youngstown, Ohio. And I played some clips of this yesterday. I was on Drew Lane's show, and they had to point out to me that an ABC affiliate being Channel 33 means you're in a very small market. It's freaking a UHF channel. But either way, John's excited. He's got a comedy show, and he's making the rounds that morning. This guy, who happens to be the meteorologist of the show, and the meteorologist on local news, everyone has the app in their pocket. You don't need to know anything about weather or anything. You just read to people. So now everyone has to have a personality as a meteorologist. They're all cards.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's true here in Rochester. And this guy's excited to interview the big celebrity comedian who's coming into town.
But also keep in mind, there was an entertainment reporter there. There was an entertainment reporter there who's like, I'm not touching this.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
And then they had to draw straws, and meteorologist had to step in there. There's someone who covers Hollywood stuff who wanted nothing to do with this. The weatherman doesn't handle the comics in town.
Welcome back to Daybreak 648. Our next guest, he's been around the world and he's been to the red carpet with the Howard Stern show. One time he interviewed Ringo Starr, another time the Dalai Lama, where he asked him,
spoiler alert.
Excuse me, has anyone ever came up to you and said, hello, Dolly? Yeah, he's a comedian. Looking for a few laughs this weekend at Funny Farm in Niles. That's where you got to go. Joining us this morning is Stuttering John Melendez. What did the Dalai Lama say when you busted his chops on that?
He laughed, but then he was with Richard Gere, and he was not very happy about it.
Isn't that the same shirt he wore the day before?
This is the same day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is Friday morning at 6:49 a.m. So props to John for being conscious at this time.
I haven't gone to sleep yet.
Okay, that's very possible, I suppose. Some booger sugars fueling this performance.
The way he's sitting is like,
Yes.
When the cops show up to the interrogation and they've left the person alone in the room for like hours and they never know when they're going to come in, so every minute just ticks by. That is the most defensive, curled up like a snail, just tight and bracing for something bad to happen on morning television.
There's zero self-confidence in this posture right here.
Also a little touch of just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put my leg over my other leg like that personally. I'm not that athletic, I guess. But this
It
guy,
looks like you're at the royal wedding, and this is like the incest third cousin
Right.
who's like just, sitting on the side. That's the posture he would have.
this is the guy who brags about being on television because he went to college for TV and film and he knows how to do that. He looks so awkward on here. Now, when he was talking to someone behind the scenes after his stand-up show, and they asked him about his appearance on TV, John said, "Oh, my other appearance was way better. That guy gave me nothing. The other guy was really good." And he really sells John hard. This is some sales job. I mean, you already heard the intro where he's repeating some of the questions he asked celebrities back in the day, which stealing John Stutter, that is part of his act. I'll just remind everyone. But this is another question that comes up.
But I've been known to getting people angry. I got punched by Raquel Welch for asking her, "Are they drooping yet?" I mean, I asked OJ if he would sign my knife.
Oh my goodness!
And coincidentally, he already had his own.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we go. The guy had to pretend to laugh after that. I asked OJ to sign my knife, and coincidentally, he already had his own. Has nothing to do with signing your knife.
Nope.
And every person I know owns a knife.
It's true.
It's not an object.
Yeah.
You're just like, it must be a killer.
I don't think you get it, Carl. See, OJ,
Uh-huh.
he did this thing with a knife that most of us don't do.
Yeah, he also did a thing with a football most of us don't do, but I still would assume he owns his own football and want him to sign my football. That joke makes no sense. That joke is in his act. He even looks to the camera like, am I right, people? Just to make sure that everyone knows that it's a joke. Right.
And all of these jokes were written by Howard and Fred and those people. And John loves to say that Jackie Martling isn't a comic because he tells other people's jokes.
Oh, that's a brilliant observation. Why wouldn't he just tell his own jokes? I always tell him, tell your own jokes. The biggest pop he gets for his set is always when he tells Joan Rivers' quip back to him. And they talk about that right here.
But the best response I ever got, and you told me your last name, but I get it now because I'm in hell, low boy. Hello, boy.
Hello, boy.
Oh, he tried to shoehorn into jokes. This guy's last name is Lowboy. Jim Lowboy. So he's like, I'm in hell, Lowboy.
The more I know, the less funny it is.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would want him to have some observations or jokes about the situation, the circumstances that he's in, rather than just repeat everything out of his act. But if you're going to do that, just do your act then. That's really bad.
I mean, I'd rather trust a low boy with my Coke than Charlie Sheen. Am I right?
Basically the same jokes that he would come up with. Yes.
But anyway, Joan Rivers had the best response, who was an old friend. God rest her soul. She was so funny. Without skipping a beat, I said, "Joan, do you think ugly people should be allowed to have children?" She said, "No, and I told your mother that."
So he's just doing his act on the morning show, which is hack to do that. Howard Stern would never have put up with this.
And he's saying it wrong, too.
Yep.
He's saying without skipping a beat, he said.
Right. You would say, I said this, and then without skipping a beat, she said that.
He has no idea. It's just he's heard comedians say things that sound like this with this rhythm, so he just throws it in there like, God rest her soul. All these little things. And for those just listening, you have to see John is incapable of working or riffing or improvising with anyone. He doesn't care who you are. Anything you say is a distraction from him trying to get out whatever he's doing. So this entire time, John has his hand fully extended at the guy's chest, holding him. Like his hand is in front of him exactly like you would a dog. You go, stay. And you want to walk away, but you know they're going to move. So you keep your hand there, and he holds them there until the guy stops talking. And then when John gets his Joan Rivers out, and the guy shuts up, he removes his hand, saying, "Okay, you've been disciplined. You've been silent. Stay and shut up and let me do this."
I got this. Hey, I got this. I'm the comedian here. I'm going to create gold for your program.
And he's already losing his new friend.
Yeah.
You can.
Well, the only reason this guy's excited is because he's hoping to get the entertainment reporter gig. He wants to bump up the
Weather's boring. Yeah. All right, so the next question is, what do people expect coming out to the Stuttering John and Friends show? What's your style?
That is outstanding. All right, you're going to be out tonight at the Funny Farm in Niles, and the set Yeah, for someone that doesn't know, your type of comedy, how would you kind of?
I don't even know where the hell I am. Where is Niles? I had to take like 5 planes to get here. This is to give you an idea how bad that my career is going. I was in an Uber the other day, and I was driving.
So the question was, describe your style. The answer was, I'm a hack. Based on, well, where are we, by the way? When I took 5 planes to get here, and then he went right into his Uber joke.
Instead of answering your question, let me show you.
Yeah, right. Let me demonstrate precisely what it is that I do.
Just the presumption that everyone is in on this with him. Everyone here is from Niles. They live in Niles.
They live there, and they make a living in Youngstown, Ohio. And they're just like, can you believe what a shithole this place is? They're just like, yeah, John.
Give us hell, Quimby.
Sure is. All right, so now John's going to tell us what he does talk about on stage, because he's got to sell this stand-up show that he's doing.
I'm happy to be here. I mean, you guys have had a lot of tragedy, but enough about the Browns. But I'm very happy to be here. I talk about everything from stuttering to family to getting old.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting older.
What are you now, 52?
Well, that's what I tell the ladies, but I'm 59. And I talk about all the things that go with the colonoscopies and all the stuff, the dyeing of the hair.
Yeah, yes.
I'm sure both of you guys are doing that.
Jesus Christ. I talk about all the embarrassing shit. Like, I'm sure you're doing this. You're probably taking Viagra, dyeing your hair. You probably can't get enough for your woman. Am I right?
You got gray pubes?
He points at other people and calls them out for dyeing
You're
their
a
hair.
fat fuck.
Yeah. It's like, and these aren't good jokes.
No.
And it gets worse right here.
Sure, both of you guys are doing that.
About the kidney stones.
I don't even know what the heck he's wearing on his head. What the hell is that thing?
So John is trying to roast, and it could be a camera person, it could be a key grip. It's the head anchor on the show. I'm going to show you in a minute.
Okay.
And he calls him out for wearing a wig, but not in a funny way. Just, what the hell is that?
Don't look at me.
He thinks he's Don Rickles roasting the room. Now, if you were to look at John, he is in the position of if somebody were standing above him and just about to punch him in the face. He is bracing, like, get away from me. If you actually watch... Yeah, if you watch Don Rickles on The Tonight Show, he is so comfortable. He looks like Buddha. He just sits there and lets everything come to him. He's not leaning into everybody and looking around and checking everybody's eyes. He stays like that. He lets them come to him because he's a professional comedian who knows the power of his words are going to work, and he doesn't need to push to sell it.
But Don Rickles does, like, laugh real hard at his own jokes to let you know that you think that's funny, right?
No, he doesn't even need to. Based on the power of the joke, other people laugh. It's crazy.
Wow. Go figure.
Also, this is 6 a.m. morning news. Not really ready to be roasted.
Right. Most people would just be like, yeah, I'm doing this comedy show. I'm really excited to be here. It's going to be fun tonight. Bring your friends out.
So what's your act about? Just the most basic things you can think of in life, like the most obvious sitcom choices and nothing else.
Yeah, all he was thinking about was his act. So he's like, oh, I have a joke about cutting the umbilical cord. I have a joke about, like, okay, but that's not really the question.
Well, he had to replace something because the host stole one of his bits right at the top. So he had to put something in there. His mind's scrambling.
Good point. Remember, this is the appearance John thought went awesome.
Yeah.
This is the one he was telling the guys, like, no, I had this other appearance that was great. So this is John doing another one of his jokes, but shoehorning it into the conversation.
Have you had the kidney stones?
Not yet, but my brother did.
Oh, I hear they're terrible.
Oh, yes. But I talk about all about child rearing and witnessing the baby being born. And have you done that?
I did it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I cut the cord.
Yes. Why do they want to do that? The doctor's like, because my baby was the first baby born on New Year's morning. And, really, even the papers came in. I remember.
It has nothing to do with anything.
I know.
Neither here nor there. He always has to put that fact in first, as if that's an accomplishment. My baby was the first baby born in the Valley on New Year's Day. Like, okay.
The papers came.
I know, it's who cares? It doesn't
He
mean
can't
anything.
stop
but-
winning. He can't stop.
Right. So now
Plus,
he's
he's never shown us that newspaper.
He doesn't have that one.
Yeah, he's got all his newspaper clippings.
His newspaper clippings are framed on the wall of his house.
When the baby came out, and then the doctor's like, "Come on, you have to cut the umbilical cord." I go, I don't want to do that. He goes, "You got." I go, "All right." So I put down my beer.
Stuttering John, he's going to be 2 shows tonight and also Saturday night.
So John just does his act. We saw this on both of these appearances, where it's all he does, because he doesn't know how to just have a conversation like a human and riff with someone and be entertaining and off the cuff.
I don't know if it's the stroke thing where it's just someone says something and he has to say the association. He can't, if he has any tie to it or if it's a part of his act, if someone says one of those cue words, he has to come back with it. It's like impulsive, and he'll shut anyone or anything down to get it out, as if that's winning or
I think he's trying to prove that he's worthy of having a stand-up show. Because if he was confident and comfortable, he wouldn't feel the need to try to prove that he's funny and he'd be good as a stand-up comedian. You just assume like, oh, you're headlining the show tonight? You're probably a pretty good comic. Yeah. Believe that. There's, at the end of this interview, there must have been some weird pre-banter that happened before the actual interview.
Hey, thank you for stopping by.
Hey, thanks, man.
And you said Ryan Seacrest was kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I'm so mad at Dick Clark for dying. He gave us Ryan.
All right.
And you said Ryan Seacrest was a jerk? Yeah, I'm so mad at Dick Clark for dying. The guy goes, oh my gosh, this guy, everything out of his mouth is hysterical. Can't take it anymore.
It's too bad we have other segments on this show, but I could do this all day.
Yeah, right. So then they head back over to the main anchor. This is the guy that John was clowning a second ago.
See the show, have some laughs. Right now, send it back to Lynn.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy. You plan to spend a month on a cruise ship.
I don't know if this poor guy's getting teased about his horrible wig.
It's 6 in the morning. John's like, hey, look at that asshole over there. I mean, it's not a good wig, but
It's not good. I think the John goes, what, do you dye your hair? He's just like, no, joke's on you. There's not a hair on my head.
This is 10 minutes later, and you could tell from his face that he didn't find it funny.
Yeah,
No,
he's seething.
Still, yep.
It's amazing. The meteorologist is in stitches. He's
Right.
falling off his chair. All right, back over to you. He's just like, all right, great. So there's a bunch of traffic. Jesus Christ.
Go fuck yourself, Jimmy, coming up in the news.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good job, Johnny.
Yeah.
Thanks for being there for us. Guys, today is episode 609. And if you've been around with WTP for a little while, you know that we had a review girl named Vic. And Vic is in the Navy now. Doesn't have a lot of time for us anymore, unfortunately. But while she was our review girl, our buddy Cow Photographer, a frequent caller to the voicemail line, a guy we hung out with in Nashville. I had dinner with him as a consequence for the creep off. He's a nice guy, though. It wasn't a consequence. It was fine.
Yeah,
We got
you lucked out.
We got some hot chicken. It was good. But he's known as Cow Photographer because he's the one who dressed Vic up in a cow bikini and took photos of her. That ended up in our Discord, and then later we got some photos in our Patreon and things. Well, he hooked up with Jade, who also wanted to help us out for our 609th episode. This is, go to her Instagram at jade.monett, 3 T's. And there she is, episode 609, and balloons in the background. Our latest cow bikini girl. I'll tell you that she also has an X if you want to see more than what you can see on YouTube. But thank you for Cow Photographer for introducing us to Jade, who I was hoping to get on the show today, but she was not available. You know, Cow Photographer is on the West Coast, so it's a little bit early. But what a great way to celebrate episode 609. The lovely Jade, thank you very much. If you want to see more of that, at jade.monett with 3 T's at the end.
I was planning a similar outfit for Hackamania.
You better. I'm holding you to that. All right, I want to bring in our review girl, Annie. What's up, Annie?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Now that's a great view.
It's not bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ready to play a game with us?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
It's time for everyone's favorite new game show. 2 minutes with Tom. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready to find the bomb? On 2 minutes with Tom.
And it's
They know what they signed up for, right?
yep,
Absolutely.
that's what they get.
So what are people signing up for if they get your newest CD, Make America Innate Again?
They're pretty much getting, well, like you said, I cover all topics. If you're fans of,
Oh shit! I mean, did we just watch this? Didn't we just see this a second ago? With Stuttering John?
Childbearing.
I love that she goes, "What will people get if they order your album?" And he's just like, "Oh, I don't know."
Here's some examples.
Wasn't ready for that.
The album.
if like, for example, if you're a fan of Donald Trump, I'll say some stuff on here that I'll joke about him. Likewise, I joke about stuff about the Democrats. I talk about, current events, even my life on here. Even my cat's not safe.
Your cat?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
That'll teach him to scratch my furniture.
So everyone is fair
grudges.
game.
Yep.
So
Actually, the original title of that CD was supposed to be
What did Tom say next? Here are your choices. Number 1, Ha. B. Sit down and shut up, you morons. Next. Fameless. 4. No cure for laughter. And lastly, presidents, porn stars, and other musings. 2 minutes with Tom.
Oh man, this is a tough one. None of those seem legit to me. There's two that I'm leaning towards. What are people in the chat saying?
Let's go, hamburger.
No, I want to see what people in the chat are saying potentially. All right, I'm going with B. Sit down and shut up, you morons. What do you think, Adam?
Oh, I'm going with 4, No Cure for Laughter.
Yeah, okay. What do you think, Annie?
I want to be molested.
Oh, lastly.
I also went lastly.
All right. Yeah, that was the other one I was looking at for this. All right. Let's find out.
Okay, hold on. Did anyone get the paw reference?
Oh.
Because of the cat in the beginning?
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
also Eddie Murphy, Raw.
No, I didn't
okay.
put
It was
that
too,
together.
Too obtuse.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Now I understand.
It's not one.
That'll teach him to scratch my furniture.
So everyone is fair
grudges.
game.
Yep.
So
Actually, the original title of that CD was supposed to be Sit Down and Shut Up, You Morons.
yeah.
But people thought that was a bit
little
much.
aggressive? Yeah.
Telling someone to sit down is a bit too strong.
I almost clutched my proverbial curls just a second ago. I was like, my goodness.
This episode is brought to you by Hackamania.com. Use promo code COME to save
idiot.
more on your tickets than any other promo code out there.
Lies.
Not true.
That's a fact, Jack.
Nope.
Promo code COME.
Lies, yeah.
Save you money. Sit, Eugene, sit. Good dog.
Was I the sole winner on that one?
You won someone's soul. Yes.
This is the time when I gloat, right? I've seen this show before. I know what happens at this part. This is where I tell all you guys you're a bunch of losers.
Victory lap.
And
Victory
I'm
lap.
the greatest.
He does this every time he invites us over.
Yeah, right. Let's play the game I'm good at.
Annie, do you have to go?
Yes, my ride's here.
Oh.
I'm going to go have some Mexican food. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for having me.
Enjoy your tacos. Annie, people should go to your website.
That's insanity.com. INSANNEITY.com. Check out everything I'm working on. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Great to see you, Annie. Thanks for being here. And thank you to Stewie Felt.
He thinks every show is the Stern Show. Yeah, it's the only thing he knows. And I just
He
want to
doesn't-
add, if you saw a picture of Tom Myers there talking to that morning woman, and if you saw a picture of John talking to that news person, if you didn't know who they were, you would never guess that they were comedians.
Right. Yeah, especially Tom.
Yeah, he looks like he's there to talk about some, recent dirt erosion that's happening near the lake that he's an expert on.
He looks like an actor or an anchor who needs a hairpiece.
Yeah, anything other than a fight person.
Anonymous $3 on supertip.gg/WATP says a Dabble House game show, but no invite for Cardiff. That's correct. No potatoes allowed.
That's correct.
I invented games, Carl.
Yeah, well, all of us are trying to cut down on our carb load, trying to cut the starches out.
Jerry.
So you understand how that works. Guys, what have we done today?
To be fair, it was Vic that brought games to this universe.
That's true. It was Vic's idea to do Who Said It? And then you stole it and made it way better. Because you're a man. That's what we do.
And then she got married.
What have we done today? We've done it all. We talked about Emergency Intercom, which is a very big show on the YouTubes with the kids. StutJo with the most embarrassing way to raise money yet, just humiliating his friend and also probably putting him in physical pain as well. Michael Ray Bauer, he's got 11 toes in the Dabbleverse. Not sure what to do, if he should just jump in or not. Opie, I mean, what isn't Opie doing? He's fighting with his chat. He's now trying not to comment about Anthony and Jim so much, but he keeps reading those chats on there, and then he gets upset that people are asking him to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
He wants us to believe his family's still alive, so that's good.
Right, yeah, he made up that story about his family enjoying his company. Of course, Stuttering John was promoting his stand-up gig. So you know what that means? It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show.
The teaser. Next week's teaser.
This Saturday, we'll be recording another episode of Who Are These Podcasts. If you're on our Patreon or YouTube channel, you'll get the link to that at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We will have with us Patrick Melton from Nobody Likes Onions and Lucy Typebox joining us in studio to do another episode of WATP.
Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast, yes. And also, since I'm promoting that on Saturday, if you're in the Rochester area, the Isotopes will be performing at Skylark.
Yes.
Saturday night. Stop down for that. I think it's $5 to get in.
Sure.
The same as $0.
Yeah. If you don't have
Is
it,
it
I'm buying.
$10
That's
for
right.
VIP? $10 for VIP?
No, the front's always open. Anyone who wants to sit in the front, it's wide open for you. Take your spot.
Can people hang outside and gift entrances?
Yes, that is true. Theisotopes.com for more information. Cardiff, you got a YouTube channel now. You're doing shows on there.
Doing shows on there and premiering at 9, I think at 9 tonight of my first appearance on Opie. Since all the boys and girls are talking about Opie. So my first appearance on Opie tonight at Cardiff Elect on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
That was before you brought your buddies along with you. That was back when it was just you and the Opster, right?
No, Corn Diff actually brought me on.
Oh, Corn Diff. That's right.
Corn
He
Diff
was the
brought me in, and there was a whole, Corn Diff was the linchpin.
Forgot about that.
That episode of Veggie Tales.
Mm-hmm.
It's like vampires. You're forever tied to who turned you.
Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
But if you kill them, everything's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Look out, Corn Diff.
All right.
Roasted.
You guys ready to listen to some voicemails and get out of here? Well, first we got Jacob Ryan S. Got to admit, Adam Ambush is great work by John. It's his best nickname for sure. Better than all 70 camps.
He didn't come up with it.
I don't think he did either.
And
Took
it's
the clarity.
Of course, it's the exact opposite of what happened. I literally told him exactly what I was going to do so there'd be no surprises. And he's like, it came out of nowhere.
Typical ambush.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, right. There was no ambush at all. You went on his show. You guys had a very polite and good conversation. He was excited to have you back again. And then he saw you on another show. That's not an ambush.
No, and there's something that I've suspected for a long time that Clearwater Chad really hammered home, and that's that John doesn't know who any of us are. He really has no idea.
Isn't
He
that
could be-
funny?
Yeah.
He saw Clearwater Chad at the comedy club, didn't recognize him, even though he was on his show multiple times.
Mm-hmm. And he was wearing the shirt, and he's very noticeable. And he's one of his only friends left who hasn't betrayed him or whatever. And he has no idea who he is. He doesn't know who I am. He forgets and he conflates, and they're all one person. I'm like part Alex Stein, part Gino Bisconte. He doesn't No, so he doesn't even know why he's mad. It's just you know,
Right. Yeah.
I hate them greasers, and they hate me, and that's what it is.
Speaking of being mad, there's some boner guy hate going on in the WATP verse.
Carl, what's it going to take to get you to stop playing Boner Guy 69's voicemail? I hate British people. Also, vote for Vinny on the creep off.
Jesus.
Wow.
Good plan.
First off, British people are fine. But secondly, vote for Carl at thecreepoff.com. I brought it this week. I deserve a W. Help me out, please. Thank you. The Hebrew Hammer calling in.
Hey, Carl, it's the Hebrew Hammer. Well, it's time to scrap that voicemail segment. When you get some asshole laughing his ass off, describing a fucking bit we all heard, it has officially jumped the shark. I officially apologize to Boner Guy for criticizing him after suffering through that voicemail describing the Howard Stern segment. That douchebag was laughing his ass off the whole time. We all heard it!
Yeah, but it's nice to reinforce that people are enjoying the show. I don't have a problem with that. I like it. Ronnie in Syracuse calling in.
Hey, Carl, Ronnie in Syracuse. Love you, love the show. I wanted to call out Gary because he said that you should interview John for like $100 and hook him up to a lie detector, and that way you could expose him as a fraud. George Costanza summed it up well when he said, if you believe it, it's not a lie. So just going to keep that in mind. I don't want to go all Larry in San Antonio on him. You know, Gary kind of gets on my nerves a little bit too. But anyway, that's all I got.
So you're saying he would pass a lie detector test. That could be accurate. As I've said many times, I think he believes a lot of these things that he says. And now's a good time to interview Adam Busch if you want on the show, like Jacob is doing here.
Yeah, you guys want any jumping jacks? What do you need?
You want to read
Grandma,
that?
Grandma, come here. Bring your cane. Yeah. Up on one leg, honey.
Adam, what was it like working with Pat Morita?
Do you really want to know? Or I can tell you he was he was the kind of guy who loved to we would drive together and he would randomly pull off in a Benihana's if he saw it and walk in and just like start singing and let everyone come over to him. He would just randomly run into Japanese restaurants, and he was like an Asian Bill Murray. He just loved his life.
Amazing.
He loved smoking. He loved drinking. He loved having fun. Like he used to be a really subversive comic called the Hip Nip. That was his thing in the 50s and 60s. And he never lost that. That was still him. He happened to be nominated for an Oscar, but whatever. I remember the day the Nickelodeon show got canceled. They called us all in. It was a big meeting. And I was younger, so I didn't put it together until after. But Pat showed up, and he was drunk. And remember as a kid, I was like, they canceled the show. He's drunk. But then looking back as an adult, I'm like, he didn't know the show was canceled when he showed up drunk. We found out later in the day. But you couldn't tell. He was really cool. He was
That's
very
funny.
cool.
It's good. See, that's
Not Rashida Jones, not like that. Not like a wonderful person like Rashida.
right.
A good guy.
Rashida Jones, that was insane.
Hey, Carl. Couple things. Last, I guess, Saturday, Larry from San Antonio challenged me to a boxing match. Well, I retired in 1972 from Company A21 at Fort Ord, California.
He retired in 1972? Retired in?
Golden Globes champion there at Fort Ord,
Boxing,
Monterey,
Carl.
California. So, no, I will not accept the challenge. Somebody always looking for a boxing match, though. Stuttering John. Have Larry contact Stuttering John. Item number 2. Speaking of Stuttering John, how does he make money at these at the Funny Farm if 85% of the seats are complimentary tickets? Nobody's paying for the tickets, or hardly anybody. So how does John make any money? Do you have any idea on that? I don't know how the ins and outs of the small comedy clubs work, but John has to get there. That's it has to fly, I suspect.
5 planes.
All the way somewhere near Nile to Cleveland, maybe. I'm not sure. So there's a cost involved just to fly.
He was already in denials.
Why? Anyway, let me know what you think about that. You might have some good insight. Put on those blue suede shoes, Carl. Rock and rolla.
Rock and roll, Gary. Yeah, don't worry. We'll protect you from anyone trying to box you. I understand.
Team Gary.
It's not fair.
Gary, we have to understand is that it was a papered room.
Yeah.
It was only a papered room.
I'll answer your question, Gary. He made very little money on that appearance. It probably didn't work out for him as a positive thing. Look what Larry is saying to you, Adam.
Larry Appleton. Thank you, Adam, for getting my Perfect Strangers obsession. You're welcome.
Did enjoy the
gotta do it.
Balky Bartakamoose reference. Fantastic. Meepos indeed.
The ultimate Gary from San Diego call would be this. Hey, Carl, how you doing? Tells us something that you already covered in the show about StutJo. We haven't heard 100 times before.
Mm-hmm.
He drones on, and in the background, you hear a shotgun. Be cocked. Next thing you know, an explosion. And then you hear a woman say, "That's what happens when you cross the Duke." Go, Judy.
You think Judy is working for John all along? She's a traitor?
No, I think she turned. That's the turn.
Yeah, it could have been the turn, right?
Hey, Carl, for the cringer of the week, I mean, that was really cringy, but is there any allowance for the fact that the girl who did it's kind of hot? I feel like the amount that I want to fuck her takes away from how bad it really was. I don't know. Have Chris call me back.
So that was the 95.5 girl from Chicago who was doing the
right.
children's parody songs or whatever. And that guy who voicemailed probably is the same guy who emailed me 12 times about it, sending me a bunch of additional clips. I was like, I'm pretty sure she's a lesbian. She gives off that vibe. I think she plays the other team. I could be wrong. But, all right. Teach their own.
Oh, I was just calling to tell you, Clearwater Chad is a fucking wet blanket with a turd inside. Like, oh, fuck, that guy sucks. He's so fucking awful. Very awful. Please don't have him on anymore.
Okay. You might remember I introduced him as his first and last appearance on WATP.
That was incredible to see this man who has been trying to get into the Dabbleverse. He hosts his own show for the first time in his life. He got some attention, and he was the belle of the ball. And the first thing he did when he showed up to WATP, he said, Carl, I'm just exhausted. I've done Chuki soup this morning, and I don't have a lot left. I'm sorry. He was done. That was it. That was the extent.
Well, he had eaten 8 hot dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, without missing a beat of the entire show, he sat there eating 8 hot dogs. It was something to watch.
And then he gave the greatest reveal you could ever imagine, which was, oh, I've never seen stand-up comedy before, Carl.
Oh, my gosh.
That was nuts.
That was so funny.
And you said never.
Was it
He said,
Vinny
"Well, on
Paulino?
TV."
Vinny goes, so, compared to other shows you've been to.
Well, I've only seen him on TV, but yeah, I've heard about snow, but I've never actually felt it. This is
I
exciting.
believe he said he's seen some on tape.
Oh my God,
He's
did.
seen some comedy on tape.
Anyway, that was a great voicemail. Thank you very much for that.
Carl, I definitely think you could have gone to the Niles, Ohio show. Just do a little disguise, man. Maybe put on like a Seahawks hat or something nondescript. Put on a mask, shave your face. You're not walking around like framed by wood paneling.
True.
No one's going to see your fucked up teeth if you put the mask on. Just don't smile talk and be like, hey guys, it's Carl from Macamania. What's like WATP? Go to use promo code WATP. Just no. Be a normal guy. No one's going to know it's you, and just go and watch the show. All right. Love you guys. Have a good one.
Why didn't I think of that? I could have just been a normal guy and gone to the show.
Yeah, it's never too late to start.
Never even thought of that.
Well, you got Long Island in May.
That's right. Are you going to go to that?
Me?
No, because you're going to Hackamania in Las Vegas.
Carl, what is this business Tukey was saying on his dumb show that the Adrenaline Mountain event might not go down? He was saying that instead we might just hang out in a hotel room with Michael Ali. I'm not going to say his middle name because I got 3 words for people with 3 names. Fuck right off. He can't be changing events like that last minute. Oh, no, sorry, guys. Hey, we're not going to do what was advertised. Instead, you're going to sit on the commode in your bathroom while Ray DeVito comes in and takes a shower. Fuck that. I don't care if attendance is light. I don't care if it's just you and me up there on Adrenaline Mountain docking. So please set the record straight and alleviate my concern. Thank you, Carl. Docomania.
Docomania. Yeah, Adrenaline Mountain people, but got to sign up for it, or else we're going to do something different on that Sunday in Vegas. And I heard Patrick talking about this the other day. He goes, people are in Vegas. Maybe they just want to gamble or drink or hang out by the pool. There's a lot of things to do. Go to shows. I actually want to see Love again, Cirque du Soleil. But it also is, what'd you call me?
A homo. But I've seen Love. It's fantastic.
It's
a promo code come.
But I think the other issue was it's not cheap, Adrenaline Mountain. It's going to kind of like blowing up a car is like $2,500. And sure, we all want to blow up a car, but I don't know if it's worth $2,500 to blow up a car. But if you want to do it, get on it. We'll make it happen. I'll go to Adrenaline Mountain if that's what we're doing. I'm all for it. I'll drive around in an ATV shooting off a machine gun. You could do that, right?
If I come, I'm inviting everyone to my room to watch me play cards.
Or we could do that. Or, yeah, we could just do a stream from our hotel room with a single laptop and everyone can crowd around the bed.
It's amazing.
It's always
we get room service beers?
No.
We can't put the beers on the bed. That's where the coats will be. So you can't sit on them.
Right. So that sounds like a little bit too much fun. All right, guys. This has been a fantastic episode. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Cardiff. Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
I got to go. Bye. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go.
Okay, bye.
School!